Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo. Kriya Babaji Namo.
Welcome to our April 16th Kriya Yoga Q&A Satsang here at the Kriya Yoga School. I'm joined here, as always, with our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass member, Veronica. How you doing today, Veronica?
Great. Thrilled and happy and excited to be here for another Satsang. And we'll see where our stream of consciousness goes down the river. So I'm so happy to be here. So we'll see see where our conversations go. So yeah.
Outstanding. Sounds great. So if you're joining us on YouTube, put all your questions in the chat. And all our Kriya Yoga School members, if they're backstage on StreamYard, you're welcome to come on stage at any time. So how would you like to start today, Veronica?
Can we start with the Purna Shuddhi and just do a little meditation before we get going?
Okay, yeah, that would be excellent.
Okay.
Purna Shuddhi, complete yogic breath. So imagine a string on top of your head. Pull your string up straight, so your spine is straight, shoulders back, chest expanded. Gently and slowly close your eyes. Inhale through both nostrils. Exhale through both nostrils. Like a wave coming into the shore on the inhale, like a wave going out to the ocean on the exhale. Smoothly and gently, with no breath retention. If a thought comes into your mind, just witness it, acknowledge it, detach, and let it go. Be aware of your breath, be aware of your body. Breathe in the new fresh air through both nostrils on the inhale. Breathe out the old stale air through both nostrils on the exhale. Purna Shuddhi is an excellent way to start your day when you wake up, and an excellent way to end your day before you go to sleep. Become one with your breath. Inhale through both nostrils, like a wave coming to the shore on the inhalation. Exhale through both nostrils, like a wave going out to the ocean on the exhalation. Smoothly and gently, with no breath retention. Be aware of your breath, be aware of your body. Become one with your breath. If a thought comes into your mind, just witness it, acknowledge it, detach, and let it go. No distractions have a chance when you focus on your breath and Purna Shuddhi. A few more breaths. Inhale through both nostrils, the new fresh air. Exhale through both nostrils, the old stale air. Slowly and gently open your eyes, come back to your surroundings. This completes our practice of Purna Shuddhi, complete yogic breath. That is an excellent way to start our April 16th satsang.
Yeah. That relaxed you
Relaxing and
too?
calm, inner stillness.
Mm. I don't, I guess my first question would be, are dreams a way of communicating future realities to us? Because I've had like a lot of repeated dreams, and I'm starting to see them come true. So is that something normal? I don't know. Like, our dreams like tell us like future realities? If that's something you've experienced?
Yeah, it could be. Dreams give you insight into what happens in the future. Sometimes it's a little like a preview, like a glimpse of what your inner potential could be if you keep following on the path. So I would definitely say that dreams give you like a little insight, a little preview, a little glimpse of what the possibilities could be if you keep practicing on the path and you stay the course and you walk the path. So it's like signposts or like breadcrumbs and confirmations on the path. So it's like a little gift on the path,
Yeah.
in your sleeping state. So yeah, I would just whatever insights you have on a dream, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like looking in nature. It's like a good insight to what can happen if you just stay the course and you remove all the distractions and all the external noise in the external Maya world out of your path. Remove all resistance, remove all obstacles, remove all blockages that are blocking your inner potential on the path to Kriya Yoga. So dreams give you like a little movie preview into what is to come if you realize your inner potential.
Yeah, sometimes I think I'm reading too much into it, but I don't know, for years I've had a dream where I'm like walking through different landscapes, having these deep philosophical like questions about the universe and about reality. And I was thinking maybe it's the sat songs we have every Wednesday. So I was thinking, oh, maybe that was telling me that this was supposed to happen, that I'd be, having these conversations with different people. And in a way, I am walking through different landscapes. So I don't know. It's just been something I've been thinking about lately. But I just think that I don't know, dreams are a tool we can use. So yeah, I just thought I would share that. So yeah.
Yeah, I do think dreams are tools we could use. It's a higher state of reality that if you get your popcorn and you watch it and you can realize your inner potential of what the possibilities can be if you just focus and keep your awareness on your satsang, on the satsang or on your sadhana or on the path of Kriya Yoga. See where it takes you. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the adventure.
Yeah. I guess
It is.
I don't know. Life can be painful. How do you think is the best way to deal with it? Is this like an inner state of mind or
I mean, the pain in life, I would just say don't get attached to it. In yoga, they say, I don't think disease, so I don't get disease. So these yogis have a mindset of, if a tree falls in the woods and I didn't hear it, did it really fall? So they don't even they don't believe in disease because they don't know about disease or pain. So I would say not attached to pain or suffering, because that's how you really get in a state of pain. I mean, this takes a lot of practice,
Yeah.
because if your physical body is failing you, it sounds good on paper, but in reality, in practice, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of mindset to overcome the pain you're actually feeling in your body. So, but I would say most yogis, they don't acknowledge pain, so pain doesn't exist in their world. Like I would say, like, your cat doesn't know what disease or pain or whatever they talk about on TV, so it's not really affected by any of that. So I would say be more like your cat, and don't attach to the scary, fearful narratives that other people would try to project onto you. Because if you don't care about it or you don't acknowledge it, it really can't affect you in the present moment. So that's kind of my mindset, but it takes a lot of practice to overcome. My guru used to say, we are masters of distraction. Your whole life, you've collected all this junk and all this distraction. Now throw it away. And that sounds nice, but in practice, it takes a lot of work to throw all those painful, suffering thoughts that you felt comfort in away. So that's the way I would look at it. But I just wouldn't attach to it. Like
Yeah.
I said, if a tree falls in the woods and you didn't hear it, did it really fall? So the way they get you to attach to pain is they try to blast your consciousness with constant bombardment of attacks, like you should be scared of this, or you you should worry about this health problem, or whatever they put on your television. It's a constant psychic attack to get you to attach to pain and get you to attach to a fearful state. But in yoga, we always say, stay fearless, my yogic friend. So no matter what happens, one of my favorite things I read was, no matter if it's the end of the world, don't let nothing shake your samadhi. So I always try to have that perspective of, like, no matter what happens, I don't want anything to shake my samadhi or lower my frequency into a fearful state. So I always try to stay in a high state no matter what happens. But like I always say, it's a constant test being a yogi out there. So always keep your vibrations high and your frequency high. And no matter what other people say, don't try to be an actor in their movie. Try to be an actor in your movie and go to your happy place. So don't attach to fear, don't attach to pain, and try to be as happy as possible. And when you do feel pain or suffering, try to break out the tools in your yogic toolbox to keep you uplifted and keep you in the right state of mind.
Oh, Paul has joined us.
Namaste, Paul.
Namaste, Paul.
Namaste.
How are you?
How you doing today?
Doing well. I did have an eye injection this morning. So, but yeah, it went okay. So, doing okay.
Yeah.
While I was in there, it was super busy. They were like over an hour late getting me to my appointment. And I was like listening, and the doctor was in there talking with one guy, and he was like telling him, that eye's not ever going to come back. I don't think, there's a lot of damage. And then he was asking the guy, like, what happened. And the guy said he was shooting up crystal meth,
Oh,
and I was kind of like blown away. I was like, wow, that's pretty heavy. And the doctor, and then later I talked to the doctor. I said, because he's pretty cool. We chat and everything. I said, I overheard your conversation with that guy, and I was like, wow, he was doing crystal meth and injecting it, and he thinks he might have passed out and like fell and like banged his eye, but
Oh,
it could have been that, or it just maybe something in that drug just did it, but I don't know. But yeah, it was kind of weird. And then there was an overturned car on my way home from work, and it had hit a fire hydrant also, and it had busted off. There was like water spurting up and everything like that. But yeah, so it was a interesting day.
yeah.
it sure is a war zone and a
Yeah.
minefield out there, right?
That it is. What were you guys chatting about? Anything?
Um, I don't know how to deal with life is painful and how to deal with it.
Oh, yeah.
So Vedagurudev was saying don't attach to it.
I mean,
And
it sounds nice in theory, but when you're actually in a state of pain, it's very hard to
yeah,
overcome because that monkey mind, that mental clutter is really powerful for sure. That's for sure. So be strong out there, my friends,
yeah,
because I hope no one has to go through pain. But if you do, try not to attach to it or find comfort in the pain. Try to overcome it as best as you can. But by no means I'm under the illusion that it's an easy task. Like you just detach and wave your magic wand and that pain is gone, because that pain and that suffering is a powerful thing. That's why takes a lot of yogis many years to overcome whatever their pain they're going through. So I would just say an easy technique to do is like what we do in our class, Ananda Bliss meditation. Try to go to your happy place. Like if I have to go to the dentist or I have to go to the doctor, I just try to imagine and visualize myself on a beach in Hawaii, drinking a coconut, looking at the sunset. So I try to take myself out of that place, but by no means I'm under the illusion that overcoming pain that you feel in the present moment is an easy task, because it definitely is not. So
yeah. I think like the power of imagination, if you can learn how to hone it, like how we like I can like think about something in the past and like I'll feel myself getting angry and my body's reacting to it. But maybe if you used your imagination for something pleasurable, like your body would react to it in a good way. And maybe you could take with your imagination and meditation, maybe I could imagine myself in the Himalayas with other yogis meditating on a snow-capped mountain, and I could, with my imagination, maybe I could feel the cool air, and maybe I could imagine like a fire burning inside of me, keeping me warm. So maybe if I could imagine all these bad things aren't there, like I don't know, I'm learning how to hone it with my meditation and imagination. I don't know, trying to figure out. I don't know, I'm still working on it, but I don't know, it's amazing how imagination can like make our body doesn't know what's going on, but it believes it with our imagination, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, so in the Himalayan mountains, how they overcome the cold and the snow and the wind, they basically have a technique called tumo, which basically they heat their inside body, like they warm up their body. I mean, there's been many cases of yogis sitting in the snow and no one knows how they don't freeze to death, but they have these techniques that they've developed over thousands of years where they basically heat their inner self, and they could actually dry like soaking wet clothes or melt ice and melt snow around them by developing these techniques. So if you could really harness the power of the mind, then you'd be surprised of your inner potential, how much you could overcome by just by practicing. But sometimes you have to be in the situation to develop this situation. So in my case, when I was thrown into the cold
Yeah.
wasteland of the Himalayan mountains, I had to heat myself up. So there was no other option, right? Like
Yeah.
freeze and be a popsicle or heat your body up. So I developed these techniques, and the Buddhist monks, they call it tumo, right? In Kriya yoga, we would call it more Kalapabhati pranayama, like fire breath. But it's basically the same concept. They're heating their inner fireplace. They're heating up their body so they can control the elements. They're not affected by the elements. In their mind, they're sitting by a very hot campfire. And they're projecting that into their aura, into their inner energy, and they're kind of projecting it outward too. So if the snow or the wind or the cold doesn't affect their body, because in their inner state they're sitting by a warm, cozy Yagna fire, and it's super hot in there. So they
That's
develop these
amazing.
techniques to heat themselves, and they've been doing this for thousands of years. So this is no need for a fire or a heater or any of that stuff, because they develop these techniques inside them as them.
So if you believe it, then your body believes it. Is it just a matter of like belief that I am warm? I'm like I'm not cold. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is it
kind of. You're kind of tricking your mind into thinking that you are warm, so you become what you think. So you're projecting that onto yourself, that you are in a warm, cozy place sitting next to a fire and you're not cold. So it kind of your energy kind of radiates or glows that and has that vibration, so it could it amplifies out of your body. So you start inside, then it kind of radiates outward. But it's more of a it's more of a like a mindset thing that like I kind of said before, I don't think disease, so I don't get disease, and
yeah.
I don't think cold, so I'm not cold. Something like that would radiate out. But it takes a little practice. I wouldn't say jump into an ice cold lake day
Yeah.
one. It takes a little bit of warming up to it. Let's say it like that. Like you start off slow, then you see how far you could take it. But like all these practices, you don't want to go too far. Like if you feel like yourself getting cold, then you would want to stop and put your jacket back on.
Yeah.
so I wouldn't take it too far. Like when you see these yogis, they've developed this technique over years, right? But
Yeah.
then they started the same way. They started slowly, right? They would go take off most of their clothes and go out. Let's say like they would go out 1 minute. Okay, that's enough, right? Next day they would try like 2 minutes, you know. They kind of work their way up to it. So when you see them sitting for days in the snow and cold, that's a thing they've developed over years of practice. Let's say it like that. So I would start off slow.
Yeah.
Let's say it like that. Like any of these practices, it's good to start off slow, like you know, like I said, like slowly and gently, like 1 minute. Okay, I'm getting a little cold. You know, I'm starting to shiver. Okay, put on my jacket. You know, try again tomorrow. So it's like that. You want to do it. Any of these Kriya yogic practices, they're like good to do in relaxation and comfort. Like if you feel pain or you feel like you're going too far, it's better to just to stop and try again tomorrow. You don't want to take it too far and hurt yourself, because all these Kriya yoga techniques about like pain and are about relaxation and comfort. So you always want to stay in a state of comfort and relaxation.
I know, that's amazing. I don't know, that you have the potential to do that. You can make it real and your body believes it. I don't know, that's something I would take it slow, but that's amazing that we have that potential to do that. So
Yeah. Your mind is probably the greatest tool you have, and if you can master your mind through like meditation and get control of your mind and not let your monkey mind run wild, then you'll be surprised of your inner potential. Like you could, even in my case, I still can't believe the things I was overcome
yeah.
just by controlling my mind or trying to master my mind and looking for the opportunity to master my mind. Like, okay, we're going up the Himalayan mountains today and it's going to be cold and I'm going to sleep in a cave, but I welcome the opportunity. I welcome the adventure. So if you have the right mindset, like this is going to be a blissful experience. It's not going to be a painful suffering experience.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much you could overcome and how much you could do.
So how many times did you take the bath in that lake, that freezing cold lake?
Every day.
Oh, every
Then
Yeah.
yeah, every day. I look
Wow.
I look forward to it. I woke up and I was ready to go, you know. So I tried not to do it while I'm mostly meditated around it. They have what's called Brahma Muhurta, which is 4 a.m. They say it's the best time to meditate. So I would usually wake up with my guru, let's say like 3 a.m. We would get prepared, and by 4 a.m., when the vibrations were the highest, we would meditate. Then about when the sun came up, I was ready to go. So like I said, the first couple times, it was
Yeah.
it, the
It's a
first
shock.
10 seconds are the hardest, let's say it like that. And the first time I went in the lake, I was trying to ease my way in like you
Right.
know, like I was trying to breathe my way like in, and I felt like an invisible foot like kind of kicked me in, and I just fell in and went up to my over my head, and I was like, all right, I'm already in. So it was almost like Baba G, like stop playing games and just get in there, you know. So after that time, I just went in wholeheartedly, like you know, like just I didn't really cannonball in, but I went in more, because the problem too is on the bottom of the lake, there's like these rocks are like razors to your feet. So it's almost like you can't try to ease your way in. You got to kind of go in as much as you can, like dive in. So that's kind of was my mindset after that first day. But yeah, once you're in, it's a blissful experience.
And how long would you stay in? And were the other yogis also joining you?
Yes, the other yogis joined me, but they didn't. It wasn't like we were swimming together. They had their own sadhana, their own practice, their own ritual where they did it. So I would just kind of do my own thing. They would kind of do their own thing, and we would all like enjoy the ice cold Himalayan lake water together, collectively but separately. So
And what do you
yeah,
think?
I would stay in. I'll, I mean, I didn't really have like a time limit. I would probably, I would say if I started to feel like frostbite or like I was getting cold, then I would get out. So I would just say like that. You know, I would usually say like about 20 minutes. I would swim from one end to the other and kind of do laps, you know, like backstroke in the bliss of the Himalayan lake water.
And
Wow.
So
I would I would think that like since that water is so cool, then when you come into the regular air, it seems like warmer, you know, because you've been like shocked into that coldness. So it probably makes it feel warmer, like in the regular atmosphere.
yeah, once you get out, you're not cold at all. Like you're okay. Like your body's amazing, so it kind of adjusts to the cold Himalayan water. But yeah, I would say like the hardest part is the first 10, 20 seconds because you're like, it shocks your body, you know, like, whoa, you know. So, but once you adjust to it, it's perfectly fine. And I would kind of like, I would move. So when you move, like, especially in the Himalayan mountains, you don't really get cold. But if you kind of stand still, like it's you get colder a lot faster. So if you're kind of swimming or circulating the blood, it you don't get cold as much. But it's still cold. You know, me coming from Miami, Florida, or Thailand, that is not a climate I'm used to. Let's say it like that. But I got adjusted to it, and I kind of tricked my mind into thinking that this was a blissful experience, and then it actually was a blissful experience. So once I got over that mind trick of suffering and coldness, or I was able to overcome it, and I was able to heat my inner core and my inner fireplace.
What about like I've seen like yogis or other spiritual people like walking over hot coals. Do you think you could do that?
Yes, I've done it.
You've done it?
He thinks he can.
Yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, he can.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
Well,
It's
tell
a
me about the occasion, like what prompted that?
I mean, they have these rituals where when they do the yagna, then they take out the hot coals and they walk over it. So it's almost like a sacred symbolization, a sealing of the ritual. So yeah, so it's basically the same concept of how could I say, like overcoming your mindset, right? Like these hot coals aren't hot because I don't acknowledge them as being hot. I acknowledge them as being like walking on the regular ground. No difference. I mean, this takes a little bit of practice, but it's basically the same concept of swimming in the ice cold Himalayan lake as walking over the hot coals. I mean, I wouldn't try to stand there for an hour, but you could make it. And you'd be surprised when you have the right mindset, like like I always say, these yogis have a mindset of neti, which is not this, not this. Like, I'm not attached to this pain. I don't feel this heat on my feet, so it doesn't really exist in my world. So, I mean, I'm not going to say they stay in the cold for 2 hours, but a 5-minute, 30-second walk over them doesn't hurt them. And it didn't affect me either, because but this is, my guru used to say, over our lifetime, we become masters of distraction. So we have the mindset that this should hurt. So it kind of makes it hurt. Let's say it like that. But when you kind of throw that away and you don't acknowledge that these coals are hot, you'd be surprised of your inner potential and what you could overcome. So that's kind of my experience. But it's basically the same as the Himalayan lake. Like, if you look at it as an enjoyable experience, it will be an enjoyable experience. But if you look at it as kind of a painful experience, then it amplifies that pain. So always try to have the right blissful mindset that this is going to be a good adventure. This is going to be a good story around the campfire, and just enjoy the adventure, I would say.
So when you're walking over the hot coals and you're getting your mind into that mindset that these aren't hot, does it not burn your feet? Does your body even agree like this is nothing? I mean, did your feet get burnt at all?
Yeah, your body would. I mean, I compare it to, like, let's say I'm on the satsang, or let's say I'm in the class and I sit in lotus position. I'm not thinking about the lotus position, but
Okay.
after I come back to the real world, let's say, I could feel my legs are kind of numb, So uh, same thing. Like your
Okay.
feet are a little black and they're a little charred, but like you don't realize it till afterwards, till you come
Okay.
out of that mental kind of state. Like you come down from that kind of higher state of consciousness that helped you overcome that. So an hour later or whatever, you were like, oh, maybe I stood in there too long. It's the same like samadhi. Like when you get in that samadhi state, you don't realize anything about time, weather, anything, right? Like you're in a state beyond kind of time. So the same thing, when you master this kind of state, the cold of the Himalayan mountains or the hot coals you walk over, you don't even acknowledge it. Like it doesn't feel like anything. Now when you come down from that state, that mental high, then maybe you'll feel like some blisters on your feet, or your feet would be sore. So I wouldn't overdo it. Like I always say in our class, if you feel pain blocks the flow of prana. So just don't try to overdo it. Come down.
I
So
don't
it's
know.
not a painful thing in the moment, but later when you come back to reality, it's a little painful.
I don't know, I was just thinking you got some major training in the Himalayas. I don't know. It's just amazing hearing all your stories. So I'm kind of living vicariously through you, but that's amazing.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
crazy adventure that I still can't even believe talking
Yeah.
about it right now. Like, just by me talking about it on the satsang, I'm like, that really happened? How did that happen?
Yeah.
How did my feet not get burned? So it looks even crazier looking back on it. In the present moment, you don't really think about it. You're just kind of doing. You're just kind of taking action. But like reflecting back on it later, you kind of look at it like, man, that was an epic adventure. And I didn't. when you're in it, you're not really even thinking about it. You're just going through your daily sadhana and just doing your stuff, and you're not really contemplating anything about it. You're just kind of doing, and trying to be the best yogi you could be. But yeah, later when you look back on it, it seems like an epic adventure.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my questions. So like, I wanted to ask you like to describe what it's like to be in samadhi.
I mean, this is difficult to describe because words are almost too crude to explain such a beautiful state, right? So, I mean, I would say the best way to describe it is samadhi is like, well, they would say in the yogic tradition, samadhi is a breathless state of communion with God. So basically, you slow your breath so slow that it almost looks like you're not breathing. And you get to a state where, how would be the best way to put this? Nothing kind of matters. Time doesn't matter. Hot, cold doesn't matter. Day, night doesn't matter. And it's almost like I'm gonna say a higher state of being where you've kind of dissolved into the oneness of reality. Like you become everything and everything becomes you, which is you not only feel your physical body, but you feel everything around you. So you become one with the universe. Let's say it like that. So I'm trying to do my best to describe this, but like I said, sometimes words are too crude to even describe it. So it's like a state of where you're just existing and a state of being where nothing kind of matters. And I would say it's close to like, they say like yoga nidra, which is the sleepless sleep state. Like you feel like you're sleeping, but you're not sleeping. You're still aware. So it's a heightened state of awareness that is hard to explain. My guru used to say people who talk about samadhi don't know samadhi. People who don't talk about samadhi know samadhi. So it's hard to like put to words, but it's like just like a blissful state of being, like they would say Satchitananda, which Satchitananda is like absolute being, absolute consciousness, absolute bliss. So it's like all that in one. You're just existing in a blissful state, let's say. But yeah, it's hard to describe. So they basically, you slow your breath so slow that you basically couldn't, it looks like you're not breathing, but your breath is so thin that you are breathing. That's what they call it, the breathless state, but it's almost like a trick on words because some people think you're holding your breath, but you're really not. Your breath is so thin that it feels like you're not even breathing, but you're actually breathing, but you slowed your body down so much that it looks like you're not even breathing. So my guru would put his finger under my nose to see how close I was to samadhi, right? So they don't want to feel no breath, right? But you're still breathing. It's just so light and so thin that you, how could I say, you slow your body down so much to reach that state. But
And would you
Go ahead.
be aware of it when he came to like check your breathing? Like, are you aware of kind of what's going on around you at all?
This depends what level on samadhi I'm in. If I'm in like a beginner state of samadhi, yes. If I'm totally gone, no. Right? Like I told the story where I fasted for 5 days, but I didn't do it because I wanted to fast. I was just so deep into samadhi that I didn't even realize I needed to eat. So once you get to that state, you don't know anything. Like you could wake up and it'd be a year later, like Rip Van Winkle or something. So you wouldn't notice. But like in the beginner stages, yeah, you would kind of know. But once you reach that heightened state, it's hard to get out. Like I used to have to set like alarms, like many alarms, to kind of get me out of that state, because I wanted to go as deep as possible, and I'd be late to work and this type of stuff. So I would try to induce coming out, because once you go in, nothing really matters. Like so I would say the best answer for that would be like in the beginning or the ending stage. Yeah, like because you kind of transition. Like when you go in, it's kind of a process of going in. Then you're aware, right? And when you come out, you kind of have like a decompression kind of stage, right? Like you don't want to just come out and just get in your car and drive to work. So you need like a couple minutes to kind of decompress and contemplate of what you've experienced. So I would say in the beginning and the end, you would be aware, but once you're deep in, you would definitely not be aware, because like I said, I didn't eat for 5 days, and they have a rule, a yogic rule: when somebody's in samadhi, don't wake them up. So the only reason I did wake up, because my guru is like, if you don't come out of samadhi, then you're not going to be here tomorrow. And that's why they have mahasamadhi. Mahasamadhi is the conscious decision to leave your body, right? So if you go too far, you just leave, right? Like goodbye, cruel world, right? Which many yogis or Buddhist monks have done this technique where they just leave their body, right? They make a conscious effort, like right now, I'm gonna leave. But once you leave, you can't really come back. So it's a thin line you got to walk. Let's say it like that. So stay in samadhi. Don't go to mahasamadhi unless you want to physically leave your body.
When you go into samadhi, do you feel like you're in touch of who your real essence is? Do you feel like that's the closest you've gotten to like what you are?
Yeah, I would say so. You realize your true inner nature. You realize the oneness of, how could I say, I am the universe and the universe is me. So there is no like duality or separation in samadhi. It's like I am everything and everything is me. So if you're doing samadhi under a tree, you feel you are that tree. Like you feel the same way the tree would feel. Like your energy bonds with the tree. Let's say it like that. So you're not only in your physical body, but you're everywhere and everything. So I would say that that's probably accurate, that you're realizing your true inner self, your true consciousness, your true inner potential. You are letting your soul shine as bright as you can, something like that.
So is it like, I'm just in my human limited experience. Is it like a void? Is it like nothingness? Or do you feel like a feeling? What does samadhi look and feel like? Or is it like another plane of existence? I don't know. I don't know, is it just a void?
I mean, how would you define a void?
Like, is it just
Like,
nothingness? Is it like darkness? Are you like nothing? I don't know.
no,
Like,
it's not like darkness. It's like nothing. it's like nothingness, but it's like a light kind of blissful energy,
Okay.
emptiness, right? It's just you are the best way I could put it is like you are everything and everything is you, right? So it's not like a lonely kind of darkness. It's like a inner potential, like an inner power that kind of just shines and radiates off your body. So I wouldn't say like you're just in the dark, but you're in the light. You are the light. So it's almost like you're shining like a bright sun. So like there would be no darkness. Like I don't remember any darkness. I only remember super light.
Yeah.
Like super like radiance and like the way I like to say it always is like sunbathing in the grace of God. So you're just kind of like sun tanning in the divine light, let's say, like, you know, like you're just enjoying your inner glow, let's say, your inner radiance, your inner vibration. So but you don't even realize that. You're just it's a blissful kind of state. Like my when I tried to attain samadhi, and how could I put this? It's not something that you could do on demand. You do how could that's yeah, maybe. I would say that you go through the techniques and it takes you where it takes you, right? So people would say trying to capture samadhi is like holding water in your hand. It kind of drips out. So if you try too hard to go in samadhi, you won't be able to go into samadhi. So you kind of gotta drift into it effortlessly, right? You go through the techniques, and if you feel yourself coming out of samadhi, you say the mantra that brings you back into the state of samadhi. Like because there's been a lot of times where I just forget to breathe, right? Like, and I catch myself like, you know, like, you know, like, okay, all right, you know, and it's good to have somebody in the beginning to monitor you. Like my guru kind of monitored me, like, you know, I would hear him say, like, don't forget to breathe, you know. If you forget to breathe, you're not going to be there. So that's why when they say the breathless state of communion with God, you're still breathing, but it's so thin that it looks like you're not breathing, you know? So,
So
yeah, go ahead.
are you able to bring yourself back from samadhi, or do you need to set an alarm to like help you come back?
It depends. In the beginning, I would set an alarm, but now I can kind of ease my way back or transition my way back. So this is a work in progress, you know? So I would say in the beginning, don't try to go too far. Like don't try to be a dummy like Vedagurudev.
5
He
days.
almost didn't he didn't eat for 5 days. Not because I didn't want to eat. I just didn't. I was in a blissful place where I didn't want to come out. And
Yeah.
when you get a glimpse of samadhi, it's like the most beautifulest place you've ever been. So like you don't ever want to leave, right? That's why a lot of these people, when they go into Mahasamadhi, they don't ever come back, right? You know, I wonder if there has been somebody who's come back. So there, it's just so blissful and so enjoyable that the Maya delusional world doesn't have the draw that it used to have,
Yeah.
you know, the pull that it used to have. So like yeah, once you get into samadhi, you don't ever want to come back. Like that's why like people who use drugs get addicted because they always
It
want to
feels
go to
good.
that place. Yeah, it feels good. So you 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 had and in my case, I almost was like semi-mad when I had to come out of samadhi to go to work or whatever. I was like, oh, you know, like it, the 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 Maya delusional world seems like a game or like a movie you don't want to be in when you come out. Like, oh man, that was so enjoyable. Like, I didn't want to leave. Now I'm here. I'm back in the world, driving to work. So it's kind of disappointing.
So you're not seeing anything. It's just a feeling when you're in samadhi.
Yeah, you don't see anything. Like, it's kind of true. Like, it's like a emptiness, but you don't even realize the emptiness. Like, you don't realize anything. It's just a state of being that you can't even really describe or put words to. Let's say it like that. So you're just it's like it's like dreaming, but you're still aware.
Mm.
So like, even trying to explain what you experience in samadhi is difficult to put to words. It's like a dream. Like, if you have a dream, you have like, I don't know, 20 seconds to write it down. You're like, like what really happened, So it's almost like holding water in your hand. It's like, what did I just experience, and it's just drifting out. And so it's hard to even put to words what the state is.
So
sorry.
no, go ahead, Paul. I've been hogging it.
I've been having like a lot of dreams lately and like remembering little bits and pieces. And the last 2 nights were like bad dreams, And I can also tell because like my covers are like all like a mess, like I've been like tossing and turning and stuff. But I was wondering about lucid dreaming too, like I've heard that is a good skill to cultivate if you can do it, to realize you're in a dream and kind of take control of it, and you can, gain some enlightenment from doing that, I would say.
Yeah, so in the yogic tradition, they call like what you would say lucid dreams, they call it like turiya. I think Cal posted a video on our school about this the other day. Yeah, so when you're in a state of turiya, you're more able to control the outcome in your dreams. Like, some people like to witness their dreams, and some people, like in this heightened state of the dream state called turiya, they're able to more control the outcomes of their dreams. But this also takes a little bit of practice. So I mean, I would say if you're having bad dreams, the Agastya Shakti mantra that we gave Diksha for this week in our class is an excellent way, because Agastya loves to eat those bad thoughts and negative energy. So if you
Yeah,
feel uncomfortable, just I would say that mantra, and
I
that should.
have I've got that one down and I've been using it. Yeah. But
Has it been effective for you?
I think so. Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
felt
good.
like some extra energy or something. But I noticed like also like whatever I'm thinking about before I go to sleep also affects my dreams, because
Mhm.
I was watching like these UFO videos and stuff, and like I fell asleep during it. And so like my dream from last or the night before last, like there was like these aliens trying to get me, and they appeared as like little frogs, and then they turned into mice, and then my cats came and attacked them like to save me or something. So it was weird, but you just have to wonder like, what am I supposed to gain from that? Is there a lesson there or what? But yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely say like I like to keep like well, I don't do it right now, but like I used to keep like a journal next to my bed, and I used to try to journal my dreams, but I try to write it out like a book, like I was going this way, and I realized that was a waste of time, because these dreams, and you got like 20 seconds and the timer is clicking for you to write everything down. So I would write like words like you said, like cat, aliens, frog, and then I would fill it in later, you know. So I would just highlight the main points in my dream.
That's
So
exactly what I do.
yeah, so that I found that's the best way, because I learned that technique in the Himalayan mountains, because when my guru showed me a Kriya, he wouldn't go over it again. He would show me one time, right? So I used to try to write it out, and I would miss most of it. So I would just note down things, right? Like thumb on right nostril, you know, index finger on the left nostril, something like that, right? And I would fill it. Later, when he was finished, I would just fill in the blanks, you know. So I learned that to do that with my dreams also, right? I was like, man, I got like 30 seconds to really convey what I saw in my dreams. And you know, when you come out of the dream state, it's almost like a haze. It's like, what was that? You know. But once you realize the clock is ticking, you're like, all right, where's my journal? Oh, okay. And you look at it later, it's like words are all messed up, and you know, it's all a bunch of scribble, but like, you know, you try to piece the puzzles together when you're at a more heightened state of consciousness when you go back. But yeah,
Also,
dreams are interesting.
when you do samadhi, are your eyes closed? Like personally, do you close your eyes or not?
I personally close my eyes, but there are yogis who keep their eyes open, you know? So they more have like that Tratak kind of yogic stare. So it just depends what works best for you. I mean, I like to close my eyes because I don't like to be distracted by the external world, because that gives more ammunition to my monkey mind to jump around. So I like to close my eyes and keep my mind clear of any thoughts or distractions. Like that's why before a lot of these, in the beginning, when you do samadhi, you use the technique of sudi, which is basically detach, let go, because you don't want any thoughts or any distractions to follow you into samadhi, right? Because once you're in there, you're stuck in there with that thought, you know. So you want to clean your house before you go into samadhi and get rid of all those thoughts that don't really serve you. And you want to be like as clear and centered and as aligned as possible when you go into samadhi, because you want to amplify that, and you don't want to amplify any lower instincts or lower emotions in samadhi, because whatever's in samadhi with you, that would be amplified. So that's why they always use this technique of sudi, which basically cleans out the mind before you go into samadhi, right? Like what am I going to eat for dinner? Detach, let go. What is Kim Kardashian wearing to the Grammys? Detach, let go. You know, what are these aliens doing tonight? Detach, let go. You know, because if you go into samadhi with that alien thought, those aliens will be in there with you. So you kind of want to clean out all that before you go in, right? So you just have like a kind of divine kind of oneness connection, like in there, like no thoughts, no nothing, because that would kind of pull you out of that state. But yeah, I would just say try to clear out all the boxes, sweep your basement as much as you can, so it's as clean as possible before you go into samadhi. So Yeah, don't watch alien videos before you go to sleep, Paul, because
Yes.
you'll be in the dream state with a bunch of aliens.
Yeah, I like to during my morning sadhana, I will wear an eye mask, and I put in earplugs also. And I like that because also like I can hear my breathing. So if I'm doing like ujjayi breath, I can hear it
Yeah.
a lot deeper and better. And if I'm chanting, it's like totally like in my head, I can really hear it. And then, even if I open my eyes, it's still black, and so yeah, that I find that helpful for me, but it's kind of a crutch, I would say. But I don't know.
Yeah, if wearing an eye mask and earplugs helps you, then that's perfectly fine. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's whatever you need personally to get you into that centered, aligned kind of state. That would be the best thing to do. So
Perfect. I did have also a question about the parampara of your guru. Like, do you know who his guru was? And like, can he go back? Like maybe he had like a famous guru, somebody we've heard of as one, as in his line or something like that.
yeah, the parampara. I mean, it's kind of, let's say, fuzzy, because I asked my guru, how far does our lineage parampara go back? He says all the way to Adi Yogi, which means Lord Shiva, right? So it depends who you ask, So they would, I mean, I'm not even sure. He told me the name of his guru, and his guru. I mean, it's thousands of years of Himalayan unbroken oral tradition. I would say, you know, and they don't really talk about this too much because they, how would I put this? Uh, they don't really talk about the lineage too much. So they would just say, my guru was the greatest, and his guru was the greatest, and his guru was the greatest, and this and that. Like they don't go into too much detail about the exact lineage or anything. So I mean, they obviously would say, they say Babaji is the Sat Guru of Kriya Yoga, which means he is the beginning of Kriya Yoga. So before Babaji, I mean, they would say Babaji is Shiva and Shiva is Babaji. So Babaji is carrying the Adi Yogi energy from the beginning. So I mean, this is hard to explain. So I would just say, from the yogic perspective, they would say it goes back to day one, which is Adi Yogi, which is Shiva. So if you ask them along the path, along that unbreakable lineage of parampara, they would definitely, that's when it becomes a little less clear, let's say. But I would say, I asked my guru that one time. He's like, "Why do you want to know that?" And I was just like, "I don't know. It's interesting, you know." He was like, "Let's say our lineage goes all the way back to Adi Yogi," and I was like, "How would you explain that?" He's like, "Good enough," and he walked away. So I was like, "All right,
Wow, he didn't
well,
know.
yeah, maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. Like going back thousands of years, like most of these yogis, they understand the parampara or the lineage, but they're not really kind of attached to it. They're kind of doing their inner work. So like if you ask them like in-depth details, they're kind of like, Babaji is the greatest, and they walk away. You know, some kind of Yoda talk, like, you know, like, who knew? You know, so
Happy,
happy, yeah. So you know, so that's kind of like, and like I said, these yogis, they don't go into, like, it's not like a long conversation. They just say, Adi Yogi, I guess, and walk away, you know. So like it's hard to get real kind of solid details. It's more like just do your inner work. That's kind of what my guru would say, right? Like just be the best yogi you can be.
Yeah. I remember I once asked you, like, when we got named Diksha, if our names went into a book or something, like as part of the lineage, or, you know, if somebody's like doing the record keeping. But yeah, as you said, it's like an oral tradition, I guess. So
Yeah, I never saw the book. So yeah, it's not like getting a driver's license at the DMV, you know. It's just like, you are now Vedagurudev. Be the best yogi you could be. See you later.
yeah.
I've got some questions piling up, so I'll just first, I
Yeah.
want to give a shout out to Sandy. She says, "Hi, beautiful people,"
Hello, Sandy.
and she is always listening and learning with you all.
Glad
And
to
then
have you here, Sandy.
when Paul was talking, she put up the alien face.
Thank
Yeah.
you for the alien emoji.
And then I have a question from somebody new, Mr. Blonde 703. I made it. I just woke up. Sorry, my question is for you, Vedagurudev, or other students. If I jump straight to advanced lesson of clearing chakra, is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I would say start from the root chakra and work your way up. Like, don't try to go straight to the crown chakra, the Sahasrara. But like I was saying earlier, slowly and gently, you know, go through it. Like, if you feel uncomfortable any kind of way, just stop. Like, you don't want to force it. So going to the advance, unblocking the 7 chakras is perfectly fine. Just go through it slowly and gently. Take your time. Go at your own pace. That would probably be my best advice. But always start from the root chakra and build your way up. Don't try to go straight to the crown chakra, because that's probably why. I mean, I never seen it, but that's probably why these people have adverse. They say it's dangerous to open your chakras, right? So I've never seen anybody have any problems. We just go slowly and gently. Start with the root chakra, go up to the sacral chakra, go up to the navel chakra, go up to the heart chakra, go up to the throat chakra, go up to the eyebrow chakra, then try to rest on the crown chakra. So, but I would say go through each chakra slowly and gently. Use the bija mantra for each chakra, and just you'll feel like a click when you know it's time to go to the next chakra. When you start, sometimes your chakras are blocked, so it takes a lot more time to unblock them. So, you know, like your root chakra might have a lot of blockages because the lower 3 chakras hold the most negative energies, right? Once you get to the heart chakra, it's like the bridge from the physical to the spiritual chakras, right? So you kind of want to clear out all that junk before you get to the heart chakra. So, like, take your time, you know, like it might take a lot of time when you first start. I know in my case, all my chakras, everything was blocked. So this was a long process in the beginning, because you're basically clearing out all the junk. So your chakras are like flowers kind of opening up, right? So sometimes you need to water that flower a little more, right? Because it's been closed for so long. So you just take your time on the lower chakras. It's going to take a while to exhaust like that ego, those desires, those fear, those lower 3 chakra emotions take a little while in the beginning, right? But once you get into a practice of unblocking the 7 chakras with each bija mantra, then it becomes more enjoyable. But at first, I would just start exhausting the lower emotions of the lower 3 chakras. I like to look at it as like a flower kind of blossoming when each chakra opens, and when you're letting go of those lower emotions, it's like black smoke coming out the chakras, right? You're kind of exhausting it. And, your manipura, your navel chakra, is like a fire chakra. The element is Agni, which is fire. So it's like a furnace, like a fire pit. And you can imagine yourself like a yagna, like a fire, throwing your emotions in there, burning them up, right? So you want to make sure all those are burned up before you go to the heart chakras. Because like I said earlier, you don't want those lower emotions to follow you upward, right? So you're kind of throwing them all away when you open each bija mantra for each lower chakra. So yeah, I would just go slowly and gently, but it's okay to jump into the advanced lesson. Just start with the lower chakras and exhaust all those lower emotions you're holding on to in the lower chakras before you go to the higher chakras.
I've got a question. Remember when you said your guru scanned you, and I think we've talked about this before, but like, can you sense anything just by like, looking at us, or, have you basically scanned us, or like, do you get any feelings about us? Like, oh, Paul needs that. I mean, you can probably just get that stuff just by what we talk about, so like, I already know stuff, about Veronica and about, things you're going through. But psychically, like, do you get any feelings about us?
Yeah, I do, but I don't try to attach to it too much, right? Like I just try to let the process happen the way it happens. So like I can read your energy, and I see what you need in the present moment. So I just kind of give some breadcrumbs to help you along the way. But it's more about the inner work that you do. And it kind of doesn't matter what I think, because you are the king of your castle and you control your energy. So it's more a slight push from me to get you on the right direction, because I can't do the inner work for you. It's something you have to do for yourself. But I can read other people's energy, but I don't really like to attach to those CDs. I just like to give the best advice as I can,
Yeah, that's interesting.
But it's more about the inner work that you do than what I see, right? I could just give some kind of insights, but I don't have a magical enlightenment wand where I could just
If
so
only, right?
if only it'd be so easy, right? Just give me $1,000 and I'll bring you enlightenment, but it doesn't work that way, so it's more the inner work that you do, helps uplift you. But I could just give some pointers or breadcrumbs along the path.
Right.
I know I asked you that question a year ago and you told me I had to remove my boxes. So Do you feel like there's less boxes? like,
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's less boxes. I mean, a year ago we had a lot of work to do now,
yeah.
and it's less work, but you
Yeah.
already feel this yourself,
Yeah.
so you already know, like, yeah, that's what my guru told me, like, go down to your basement. There's a bunch of boxes blocking your door to your inner divinity. Throw them all away, open the windows, clear out all the dust in your basement, and once you're clear, then it's a lot easier to go through these practices without no resistance or blockages. So yeah, that was my guru's advice too. Your basement is dirty. Go down there and clean it out.
So we have a bunch of people backstage, so I'll just give them a voice. Let me see. Mr. Blonde 703, I'm going to need your help, Vedagurudev, pronouncing this. Is prana, apana, shusami, hari a known mantra for healing?
Prana, apana, susimna, hari. So prana, yeah. So what it's basically saying, prana, your life force, inner energy, right? So this mantra is basically saying apanya, which is basically like, how could I put this? This is like the upward flow, and like the susimna nadi is your invisible inner track, which is your yeah, it's like it follows along your spine. So when we breathe in Kriya Yoga, we breathe through the Susimna Nadi, right? So let's say from the root to the crown, from the crown to the root, but following the invisible middle track, the center track, which is called the Susimna Nadi, right? So it's basically, this mantra is saying that cultivating, enhancing the upward flow of your life force energy, your prana, through your susimna nadi. So it's basically giving praise to that practice. But in my experience, it'd be better just to do the practice than to praise the practice. It's good to have that affirmation, but I would just say focus on your middle track, which is your susimna nadi, and bring your energy up. So this mantra is basically saying, how can I put this in English? Prana, rise from the root up to the crown, so through my breath, through the susimna nadi. So that's basically what it's saying, but it's basically trying to tell you to breathe that way anyway. So the best way to say this mantra would be to do the actual practice of pranayama. And I would just say breathing from the root up to the crown. So if you want to add on this affirmation to the breath, it's perfectly fine. So in our Kriya Yoga school, we have these practices where we embed the deity into the breath with the pranayama. So that's basically what this is saying. So could this heal you? Yeah, I would say all these practices kind of heal you. It depends what you're trying to heal. Like if you're trying to heal your spine, yeah, probably it would work. But overall healing, this is more centered on the spinal breathing, the susimna nadi breathing, the middle track breathing. So, but yeah, I would say that this mantra couldn't hurt you. It probably could heal you. It depends. But I would say to do this mantra effectively, you would need to do the practice of Kriya Kundalini Pranayama which involves Tabla Kriya, K-Cherry Mudra, Ujjayi Breath. So once you stack all these practices on top of this mantra, then you definitely get a overall kind of well-being. Like I don't know if this person is in our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, but if they are, we have a lot of techniques in there, and I could guide you to the techniques that in the classroom that could help you uplift and heal yourself with this mantra for sure.
And then Sandy had another question about chakras, or regarding chakras. Even though I barely knew anything about them before what I call my spiritual awakening, I've been guided since to work so much with them, especially through frequency. I feel when I do the inner work, all of us experience heightened clears.
Maybe she was trying to say chakras.
Chakras. I think that's what she meant.
Yeah. So if you do the inner work and go through the step-by-step process, which we have in our school, and well, let me answer this first. I'm in the Masterclass. Oh, this is Donald. So so Donnie or Donald, whichever one you like to be called. So this mantra that you just said, I would go into the pranayama section in our classroom. There's a class on Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, how to do Tabla Kriya, how to do K-Cherry Mudra, how to do Ujjayi Breath. So when you develop this technique, just embed the mantra into the breathing, and this will be really profound for healing for sure. This will really help uplift you and everything. So I would just say once I finish on the Satsang, I'll send you the link in our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, how to enhance this technique for inner healing. And I think we have a lot of pranayamas for healing in our school too. So I'll definitely send it to you once I get off this Satsang.
Yeah, weird thing I've noticed, this is like a physical thing, like after having, been doing yoga for several years and just stretching, like I feel like my tailbone got loose. I don't know if it was like, like it was fused before or something, but like I feel like a little like something like moving around like right on my tailbone. So I don't know what that's all about.
Yeah. So once you loosen yourself up, I understand what you're saying, Paul, because the same thing happened to me. My tailbone, my spine, everything was probably stiff as a rock when I got on the path of Kriya Yoga. Once I started going through like the warm up exercise, which we show in our class, it's rock the baby, knee up, knee down, windshield wipers, butterfly. You kind of loosen up your hips and you kind of start to loosen up your tailbone more, so you could sit a lot longer. So it starts to loosen up, let's say. So even if a stiff rock like Vedagurudev can loosen up, then anybody can. So just go through the techniques and you'll loosen up for sure.
I really, I'll say rocking the baby is not one of my favorite practices. That's like a very difficult one for me, grabbing that leg, or especially grabbing the toe and going around and everything. It's like, wow.
You saw like in this week's class, we had a lot of questions like if you can't interlace your fingers, it's okay. It's okay to hold your knee or hold your toe or whatever works best for you, long as you kind of get that rocking side to side motion. I mean, it doesn't matter if you interlace the fingers or you could hold your knee, or you don't have to do like full circles holding your big toe. You could just do whatever you can, and kind of work your way up, or whatever, counterclockwise circles. Like Veronica said, if your knee can't go all the way to the floor, just just go to a comfortable height and just, kind of vibrate it there, pulsate it there wherever you feel good. So you don't have to go to the full distance. Just
Sure.
go to comfortable height wherever you feel it works the best for you.
Yeah, one of my worst ones is like the legs spread and then forward folding in between the legs. That hits my tight hamstrings, and plus
Yeah.
my back just doesn't want to like bend like that, And they always try to tell me, like I'll be bending like with my upper body, but my lower back doesn't want to bend. So they're like, hinge forward and like keep your chest up and everything like that. But yeah, it's very difficult, that position.
Yeah, what they do also, and I say in our class, use the kriyas, which are micro movements. So you kind of pulsate, right, to go kind of deeper, right? I mean, you're not going to be able to go all the way to the floor, but just kind of, if you want to go a little deeper, just kind of rock back and forth, kind of pulsate into it. Like just go to a comfortable height that you feel good, right? Because you don't want to force it or hurt yourself or pull a muscle or any of that kind of stuff. You kind of want to, yoga, especially asanas, should be comfortable and relaxed. That's the best way I found. And breathing helps, like breathe into the stretch. So that's what I would do.
Mm. Yeah, I've been doing the micro movements. I've been doing that. Yeah, I like rocking anyway, so that's kind of like a natural for me.
Yeah,
because I sometimes just rock when I'm chanting or whatever. But yeah, it's also great with the exercises.
oh, outstanding. Yeah, doing the kriya, the micro movements, like rocking into it, really helps. It helps you go deeper, and breathing into the stretch definitely helps also.
Excellent.
Sandy was saying that the clairs, that was just abbreviated for clairvoyant abilities increases. So I just wanted to clarify that for Sandy.
Yeah, definitely. When you start to open up your chakras and realize your inner potential, then these CDs kind of come as like a byproduct, like clairvoyance and this type of stuff. You're more open to it, right? Like when your body has a bunch of blockages and doesn't realize its inner potential, then it's very hard to realize these things. But when you have unblocked all 7 of your chakras and you have like a heightened awareness and you have a heightened self-realization, then these things are a lot easier and way smoother to happen. That's why when people say like how could I say it? I'm able to manifest, but they eat or they fill their mind with junk. I find it hard to believe, right? And like these are techniques that heightened, elevated yogis have taken years to realize. So it's not like you could just jump into it. It takes a little bit of practice to clear out that junk. But once you get there, your awareness to clairvoyance or heightened states are more easier to realize, let's say it like that.
And then Mr. Blonde was just saying, I think those are in the beginning medium section. I did a lot of those. The Prana, Apana, Shasami, Hari, I found randomly on YouTube as a song and was more curious if it was official.
I mean, yeah, it's official. Like it's basically just saying it's praising the upward flow of the breathing. You know, I mean, I've never said it, but it couldn't hurt, you know, like praising your inner breath work. Like, I don't see how it could hurt, you know. Official, I mean, I've never said it. I more do the practice than sing about it, but you know, it couldn't hurt, you know, why
Yeah.
not? You know, if you want to help it along the way, you know, like you embed that mantra. I mean, try it. If it works for you, then it's official. If it doesn't work, then it's not official.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Like, well, just try it out and see how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel good, then it's a great practice.
And then he says, I have not done any of the physical movements though, LOL, only the breathing and verbal techniques.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the breathing and verbal techniques are good too. It's the same thing. Like some people, the asanas aren't their thing. I mean, I would say in my case, probably the thing I resonate with the least out of the 5 folds of Kriya Yoga probably is the asanas, you know? Like, I asked my guru, like, if I don't have time, what's the least important thing I should do in my sadhana? And he said, asanas. That's what they always say. So if you resonate with the asanas, do them. If you don't, that's perfectly fine also. So I would just say do what works best for you. That is the best way.
For me, the asanas are essential, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, I need that.
yeah, definitely for your physical body. It helps. It helps get you through the day. I enjoy my asana practice, but I don't want to force it on anybody else, you know.
Yeah. We're all different.
It also
if you
pulls
can't,
me out of my head, you know. Like
yeah,
I come out of
definitely.
my head and into my body, so that's a definite plus there.
For sure. When you're in the full wheel pose, you don't have time for no thoughts that don't serve you in the present moment, if you know what I'm saying.
Namaste.
Namaste, Donnie. Can you hear us? I'll know
I
if
don't
you
know,
got his microphone.
his mic's on. I don't know if he can hear us.
Can you hear us, Donnie? I think he's trying to set it up. Maybe he doesn't.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, we have another question from Luke Barra. What happened to Chad's YouTube channel, Open Your Reality?
Oh, the question that never gets answered.
Yeah. I noticed there's like 35 comments on that video.
Yeah, so I made a video on my Vedagurudev channel, like what happened to Chad from Open Your Reality. If you want, I suggest you watch that. But to make a long story short, that was a very popular, like Veronica said, and many questions. We want Chad to come back and that. So Chad has moved on to greener pastures, and I guess he doesn't resonate with YouTube anymore. So he doesn't want to do it no more. So that, I mean, this is Chad's choice. You know, I would like for Chad to come back. I enjoyed his videos. You know, I enjoyed our interviews and our interaction, but Chad has his own path.
Sandy says Chad had mentioned he started a new YouTube channel. I wonder what it is. I wonder if that's the spoon. He started a new one.
Does Chad have a new channel?
As far as I know, it's just been the spoon. I don't know if he started a new one.
Yeah, I think it was just Ben the Spoon also. And yeah, I did post a few of his videos from his latest stuff. There was only 2 it's been so far. And I did post them on the SKOOL website.
Yeah, so I think he Chad had 2 channels. He had Open Your Reality and Bend the Spoon. And I think he recently posted a couple. I don't know when the last time he posted. I think there's 2 videos on Bend the Spoon now, but they're AI faceless videos. So I don't think Chad, you're going to be able to see Chad anymore. It's going to be more AI generated. But I don't know. I haven't talked to Chad about it, so he does his own thing.
I don't know. Sandy says no, there was another one, but didn't tell us what it was. I do remember a video a long time ago. He was hinting at doing something that wasn't spiritually related. So I don't know. Maybe it'll pop up on our feed sometime.
Yeah, or he has a Patreon too, right? Maybe he's talking about Patreon.
Can you tell help Sandy needs to be reminded where is this? What asanas are again? Can't remember at the moment.
Can't remember what asanas are.
Yeah.
So asanas are physical postures, like what most people in the West think yoga is, like I don't know, downward dog, it's physical postures that like stretch the body. It's more of a spiritual progress that we do in the Kriya yoga school. Like in our school, we have a lot of asanas that we do. So it's more like physical postures, like it's not really exercise. It's hard to explain. Like,
I mean,
if you just go into Google and type in asanas, it'll give you a good explanation, better than I could. I would just say it's like the physical postures, like downward dog, sitting in, half lotus position, Sita asana, full wheel pose, these type of stuff.
I don't know, Sandy cracks me up. She says, "Oh, right, yeah, I can't do those." And then she says, "That's why I discontinued my Kriya yoga membership last year." LOL. Oops.
If that
you don't.
I was gonna say, if Vedagurudev can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, for sure. You're right, Paul. If I could do it, you definitely could do it. But it's not necessary. Like you don't have to quit the Kriya yoga school because you can't do asanas. We have a lot of other stuff you could do: pranayama, meditation. What else? Mantra japa. So there's a lot of other stuff like certain people can't do the physical postures, but that doesn't mean you can't practice Kriya yoga. You could still practice it. I'll say in India, probably they don't really do many asanas. They focus more on the meditation, the breathing, these type of techniques. The asanas are kind of like good for your physical body, but they do less of that. I still like the asanas, but it's not for everybody. So if you can't do the physical postures, the asanas, then still practice Kriya yoga. Focus more on pranayama, breathing, and meditation.
You can always do the modifications on the asanas too, so to make it easier for you.
Yeah, true. Right.
But yeah, I think anybody can do that asanas. It's a matter of if they really want to or try it or not. It takes determination, willpower, all that stuff, just like going to the gym. And like I said, it like really helps pull me out of my head. So especially in a beginner stage, I think that's very helpful. And it's helpful for me just to go to a studio, because you get help there and you see other people doing it, and there's the competition factor. Oh, if they could do it, I could do it. I'm not gonna let this girl, do that, and I can't do it. But so it's helpful. That's definitely helpful for me. I highly recommend finding a good studio and doing it with a group of people, and then you can also chant together. If they're a legit studio, they'll do the chanting and meditation and everything. So that would be great.
I don't know, Sandy
Yeah.
says, thank you, Paul. That was a nice tip.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and we have an asana called Shavasana, which is a corpse pose. It's laying on your back, spreading your arms and your legs, and relaxing deeply. So I think anybody can do some asanas, you know.
So I just want to make Mr. Blonde, Donnie, are you able to hear us? Are you able to talk? Can you hear us? I don't know if you can hear us.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh, okay.
You should be able to hear me
Okay.
now, I think.
Do you have any questions, Donnie?
I think he's just listening.
I was trying to see if my mic was working. Hold on.
I think his mic is working.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he's
okay.
typing in.
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah, your mic is
Wonderful.
working. So if you have any questions, Mr. Blonde, send them over. Or you could ask on the screen.
Yeah, you can ask now.
Oh, okay. So I have my audio. So
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I had a question. We were talking about samadhi. How is it compared to when you went with your guru to Shangri-La? How does it compare?
Shambhala.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, well, he wasn't there. I mean, he was there in the physical sense, but not in the astral, other dimensional sense. So Shambhala was more like witnessing a movie from a distance, let's say like that. Samadhi is something more experience, right? Like it's not like you're looking at something. It's more like a oneness that you are something, like a being kind of state. So that's the way I would say it was different, you know, like they both were a blissful state of awareness, but I would say that samadhi is something that you do yourself. Shambhala was more like something I witnessed, you know, like I saw from a distance, let's say. I had an audience where I couldn't interact, but I could witness what was happening. Samadhi is something I actually do and experience myself. So it was different in that sense. Like I didn't have no control of Shambhala, but I have control of samadhi. Like my samadhi experience is based on what I do. Shambhala is more of like witnessing a movie from a distance, let's say.
So
In samadhi, do you ever like get any communications? Like, would Babaji talk to you while you're in samadhi, or would God talk to you, or would you even see any other beings or anything like that?
It's possible because you're at a higher state of awareness. In my case, not really. And in samadhi, you're kind of almost like in a hypnotic state where even if somebody talked to you, you wouldn't realize it, you know, because you're just, how could I put this? Inside you as you, where you don't realize anything, to be honest, you know, you're just in that state. Let's say it like that. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain because there's no real words for it. I would say that you're open to that possibility if it happens. But in my case, it was more of a message in meditation where I was more of aware of it. And in samadhi, you're kind of almost like in a dream state. Like if the message came, you wouldn't even be aware of it. You know, like I said before, like I didn't eat because I didn't want to eat. I just wasn't aware of what even eating was at that point, you know? So in samadhi, these things, you're not even aware of it. You're just in a state of being where communication is not available. Let's say like your phone is turned off. So you couldn't get the message. So I don't know if they would send a message like when we're in the Himalayan mountains and you see somebody in samadhi, they have like a golden rule where you don't kind of try to talk to or wake anybody up out of the samadhi state. So maybe that awareness is available across all planes of existence, right? Like I'll come back later, he's in samadhi, right? Because even if I sent him a message, he wouldn't be aware of it because he's just sunbathing in the grace of God right now. So
Is Shambhala a place just for spiritual teachers? Or like if you get to a certain level spiritually, I don't know, could a soul like mine, if I worked hard enough, get there? Or is it just for special high level spiritual people?
well, if you do the inner work, then you could reach that level. I mean, this is a good question too, because I almost saw Shambhala at a distance, but I don't really have any like direct information on how it works or anything. So it's just like, it's like my experience was like watching children play in a playground from a distance. Let's say it like that, right? Like how those children got to the playground or what the rules of the playground are, I really have no knowledge. I just was granted an audience, let's say, and I just kind of enjoyed it for what it was. I don't really know how it works, but I'll say if you reach a heightened state of awareness and a heightened enlightened state, my guess would be that anybody could reach that place. It's not only for certain beings. It's for beings that have reached a certain state where they could realize Shambhala, right? So you can't go to Shambhala if you can't realize Shambhala. Let's say it like that, right? So once you raise your awareness to be aware of what plane of existence Shambhala is, then it becomes more accessible to you, I would say.
I feel like Shambhala is like a conference center for like higher dimensional beings like Babaji, and that's where they get together and do God's work and meet and discuss what they need to do next and things like of that nature. That's kind of what I think Shambhala is.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
I don't know, this is a basic question, but I don't know, those kind of tend to be good ones. What does it mean to be really spiritual? What does it mean to be spiritual?
To be really spiritual means you realize who you are inside you as you, right? Like you bring your soul to the forefront and you bring like all the unnecessary things that don't serve you to the background. So being spiritual is doing your inner work, realizing your inner self. That's why Yogananda's place is called Self-Realization Fellowship. So you kind of realize who you are. So no one can tell you you're spiritual. You realize it by yourself. You know who you are because you are spiritual. So And there's really no direct path for spirituality. It's whatever works best for you. So whatever your deity of choice is, or whatever your spiritual practice of choice is, then that is the best practice of spirituality, I would say. There's no right or wrong way to be spiritual. It's just whatever uplifts you and makes you feel the best. That is the best way for you to be personally spiritual. So
Do
it's
you
more
think,
of an inner journey, like doing your inner work.
do you think there's like a difference between spirituality and like religion, like a religious person versus a spiritual person?
Yeah, so a religious person would be more attached to the dogma. They would more want, they're more attached to the stories than doing their own inner work, right? So in my opinion, this might sound harsh, but it's a lazy way to be spiritual, right? Like, let me tell you a story about what God is, or let me tell you what God did, or like, in my experience, I would say it's better to be more spiritual, not attaching to anybody else's narrative, but creating your own narrative, right? Like, I don't want no one to tell me who God is. I'm going to experience God for myself, right? So, in my opinion, the religious dogma is more for less evolved beings and more lazier beings. Like, you don't have to do the thinking because I've done all the thinking for you. I know God better than you know God, so let me tell you what God does, something like that. But when you become to a heightened state, you don't need that dogma. That's kind of why I like the Kriya yoga path, because they call it, and Krishna calls it in the Bhagavad Gita, the supreme science of God, yoga, which is basically, we test yoga, we observe yoga, we experience yoga, so we know yoga, right? So it's more of a science to me. I don't want you to believe me who God is. I want you to test it and experience it for yourself. That's how you can know it the best, right? So in my opinion, religious dogma is more lazier people that don't want to do the inner work, don't want to take the time. They just want to be spoon fed and told what other people's perception of God is. So I would say I like Kriya yoga because it's more of a science of, like Krishna says, the supreme science of God, more than like a blind faith system, right? Like, just believe me. Well, why should I believe you? Because God responds to my emails. Like, really? Yeah. How do I know? So instead of believing anybody blindly, just do what works for you the best. That would be the best practice. So I'm not really attached to the religious dogma. Like, let me tell you what God's doing right now. I find it hard to believe that anybody knows what the source is doing right now. So anybody that tells me that, I'm like, I'll figure it out for myself. And they have these cool words like it's blasphemy for you to think you know better than God, or I don't know what they say. Like just thinking is a sin of pride. Like, you shouldn't think for yourself. We've done all the thinking, so you don't have to. So just believe us, what we say about God, and that is the truth. If you don't believe us, you're going to hell. What? Like, I want to think for myself, and I want to do what works best for me. I don't want, God is not, I like when they say in yoga, a God defined is a God confined, right? Like, I don't want to put God in a box. Like, the source, the infinite, is too beyond my comprehension to even put in a box. Let's say it like that, right? So it's that, like, I don't know. So I don't want to attach. I like the approach of Kriya Yoga better. For me, it's more of a science. We test it, we observe it, we experience it, so we know it, right? So no one can tell me that Kriya Yoga doesn't work because I experience it every day working. So I would say I wouldn't. The religious dogma of religion is more for lazier people who want to be spoon fed and told what to think. I want to think for myself.
I was going to ask you about Buddhism. Do you know much about their philosophy? They don't believe in a god, like a one god or something? Is that true? Or do you know what their exact, like the difference between Buddhism and Hinduism is?
I mean, that's a good question. I'm not an expert on Buddhism, but I would say that, I mean, they pray to. I live in a Buddhist country, Thailand, so they're like 95% Buddhist. So they pray to Buddha as a god, but Buddha is more closely related to Hinduism. Buddha is from India. You see, like, many of the practices practiced in yoga, Buddha has also, right? Detachment, overcoming suffering. If you see pictures of Buddha, he's actually sitting in half lotus position. So I think, in my opinion, Buddha had some yogi teachers or some guru who got him on the path, and he just took it from there. So I would say it's closely related to Hinduism. Like, the question is, what god did Buddha pray to? So if you think Buddha was raised in India, so he would have probably prayed to like Shiva or these type of gods. So
I'm going to search that up because I'm curious about that.
yeah, let me know what you find. I don't really have a direct answer to that. That's a good question, actually. But I know in my case in Thailand, they pray to a lot of the similar Indian gods that they pray to in India. Lord Ganesha is very famous. The elephant god in Thailand. Every business has a statue of Brahma. They pray to Lakshmi. They basically pray to all of the same Hindu gods. Hanuman, for sure. So that's a good question. So I would say Buddhism is closely related to Hinduism, but tomato. There are many paths to get you to the mountaintop. Whichever one works best for you, that is the best path. So I would say.
You touched on this a little bit. I was thinking of a question. Can you think of any dangers or traps for misapplying spiritual teachings?
Dangers or traps? I mean, anybody who's not lying to you or not cheating you or stealing your money and just trying to help you be the best person you could be, I don't see how it could be dangerous, Like, if it resonates with you, then it's probably good.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
think,
say there's no danger in teaching anybody anything or trying to. How can you ever go wrong helping people? Like selflessly helping people and uplifting people. I don't see that how you could ever go wrong by doing that. So I don't see how any teaching could be dangerous. If it feels uncomfortable to you, then maybe you shouldn't do that practice. Or if it feels comfortable to you and uplifts you and makes you feel better, then you probably should do that practice.
Yeah.
I was
thinking of.
like becoming prideful. If you got CDs or something, if you became prideful of it and thinking, oh, I'm better than other people and all that, that might be a trap or danger. Maybe that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, true. Like if you get CDs or yogic powers, my guru used to say, who wants CDs? And he would say, the short answer, the ego, the long answer, nobody. So we always have this practice that even if you get CDs, you wouldn't show anybody to it. It's almost like your secret between you and God, right? Like, oh, I'm going to levitate. Now I'm going to go on TV and show everybody I'm better than everybody. So I agree with that kind of ego play. Like you should use your CDs or your powers to help people and uplift people. You shouldn't do it to put yourself on a pedestal or make yourself better than everybody. You know, like even in my case, I just say I'm just a regular person like everybody else. And I just did the inner work. It doesn't make me special or better than anybody. I'm just regular like you. When I look at all of our students in our Kriya Yoga School, I have the exact same questions. I see myself in all of them. So I don't think of myself any better than anybody. Maybe I've done a little more inner work, but that doesn't make me better or superior to you, or doesn't mean you should buy me a Rolls Royce or whatever, you know, or you should wash my car. It just means that, I just did the inner work, and I'm trying to play it forward and help as many people as possible too on the path, you know? So it doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody else, you know? In my previous occupation, DJing, I was totally consumed with my ego. So you're right, Paul. My CD right now is trying to be as humble and down to earth as possible. I've already been to 100. I'm trying to go to 0. You know, like I'm going the opposite way. So I've already been there, done that. I've seen what that has. I don't want to go that way. I want to go the other way. So in our school, I want to be as humble and down to earth and not be put on a pedestal and answer as many questions as possible. So
I know. I kind of
stay
wonder,
humble.
like a lot of people read Autobiography of a Yogi, and Yogananda meets all these people that have these Siddha powers. If people new to Kriya Yoga might be thinking that they're gonna get these CDs, but I was thinking, Kriya Yoga has made me more peaceful and in control of my reactions. I think that's kind of a CD, learning how to navigate this Maya world. But I don't know. I kind of wonder what people's motivations.
Yeah, true. I mean, right. If you read Autobiography of a Yogi, you're like, if I practice Kriya Yoga, I'm going to be able to fly. I'm going to be able to levitate. I'm going to be able to do all these magical stories that Yogananda explained in Autobiography of a Yogi. But I would say that's true too, what you said. Like, once you start on the path to Kriya Yoga, it makes you more calm. It makes you more peaceful. It makes you more centered. It makes you more grounded. So like, you maybe some people start on the path of wanting those CDs, but they go on another direction. Like the benefits of Kriya Yoga are way better than levitating for 3 seconds or whatever, you know. and you realize, like, even if you had these, I like this story about Buddha. Like this one yogi spent 9 years practicing the CD of levitation. And when Buddha came to him, he said, Buddha, let me show you I could walk over water. And Buddha said to him, why would you walk over water when you could take the ferry and it's only 5 rupees, you know? So that's kind of how these yogis look at the CDs, right? Like, it's just when you focus on your sadhana wholeheartedly, these are just like byproducts that happen along the path, you know, but it's not the main goal. It's not the main objective of practicing Kriya Yoga. It's just like some signposts or breadcrumbs that happen on the path of Kriya Yoga. But I've never done my sadhana so I could levitate. That's not, wasn't even a thought
Yeah.
in my mind. You know, it's just like, I do this, it makes me feel good, it uplifts me. And if I levitate tomorrow for 3 seconds, I don't know who I'm going to show that to, but thank you, God. That was cool. I appreciate it. But it's our secret between me and God. You know, I'm not going to go on TV or on like, I don't know, on David Letterman and say, look at me, I'm a supreme guru. I now will practice the siddhi of levitation. You know, what would be the point, you know? That would be more feeding my ego than making me humble, you know?
Is there a practice called CD yoga? Or I was thinking maybe that's what Agoris are doing. They're practicing CD yoga because they're so extreme.
So Sita means perfection. So like they've perfected the practice, and this is almost like a gift for completing that mastery of over that practice. So I'm sure in their own time they practice their own things, and they have come to a certain level of elevation where they could prove to themselves that they have mastery over certain elements or certain techniques, I would say, but they're not going to show the world.
Yeah.
Like even in Autobiography of a Yogi, when he meets the levitating saint, he levitates, but he won't show anybody else except Yogananda, because he's reached a certain level where he understands, right? In yoga, they say we only talk to people that can hear what we're saying. So the reason I have seen these CDs, because they felt I was on a certain level where I could understand it and not get attached to it. You know, like I said, when I saw certain things in the Himalayan mountains, I just went back in my tent and went to sleep. So they show me these things because they know I'm not attached to it. Like I'm not gonna share it with the world or whatever. I'm just gonna, you know, it's our secret between us, something like that, you know.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, like to me, like that's like a breadcrumb. You know, that's just like telling me, like, yes, this is true. You know, it's all real. You know, all this stuff that like that I've always thought was like a fairy tale. You know, it's like a wake up call, and like I think you just need to, like the whole world needs to just get slapped out of their sleepfulness. You know, so and I think, you know, from what I hear, you know, all the little back channels I'm on, you know, like something might happen, you know, to jar humanity awake. And I think a lot of people would wake up once a bunch of arrests get made, like all the Epstein Island list, the Hunter Biden laptop list, a lot of corrupt, treasonous politicians, and like I think there's going to be like a sting that happens. That's the way they round up like the mob, because they're not going to just go out and get one guy, because then the rest of the rats will flee. They get everybody at once. So like it's a big operation, I think, that they have to plan out. And like then once all the truth comes out, like people are just going to be like flabbergasted. Like even David Wilcock, he's like, he tries to tell his dad all of his stuff, and his dad's like, no, you know, I don't want to believe that, you know. But I think I've heard something about like on Easter, and I think it makes sense that like a sting operation would be held on a holiday when like everybody's home, because it's more likely that all the corrupt people will be at their houses, and plus there won't be like a lot of people, you know, moving about, so it would be a good time. But so, you know, we'll see what happens, but it's gonna definitely wake a lot of people up, you know, I think.
Well, I'll just say like this: liars tell lies. So there would be no surprise for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, yeah.
that guy's a liar. I already knew that, you know. I mean, what's the news, you know? So, I mean, you could just see, like, I don't know. I don't want to get on a rant, but I'll just
Yeah.
say they don't care about us, right? Let's say it like that. You know, their playbook is a handful of lies, right? So when they tell a lie, I was like, that's what liars do. They tell lies. If they told the truth, I'd be surprised, but
Yeah.
they mostly tell lies. That's what they do, you know?
Yeah. But
We're almost at 2.5 hours, so let me stretch my legs
Yeah,
a
stretch.
second.
Yeah. Get the blood circulating.
Windshield wipers.
Oh, when you were in samadhi for 5 days, were you in yoga pose that whole time?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
So that was another thing. Yeah, it was took me a couple days to stand up. Let's say
Oh
it
my
like
God.
that. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, just shake your legs out.
I overdid it. You know, like the stiffness was setting in. Let's say it like
Oh,
I don't know, like I was almost like a statue. So
yeah.
to break out of that statue pose was a little bit painful. Let's say.
Can you go into like samadhi from, say, like corpse pose?
Yeah. So from Shavasana, the corpse pose, you could probably definitely go into samadhi, and that's probably a more better way to go into samadhi because you're already laying on your back, you're already in a deep relaxation state. So I would recommend going into it because if you go into samadhi for like a couple days, you're perfectly fine on your back, right? That's why I was saying, like, when I was sitting in the traditional yogic position of Sita Asana, you know, like when I came out of samadhi, it took me a good couple days to transition back up to standing, right? But if you go into samadhi on your back, that's probably the best way to go into samadhi because you don't have to worry about it. You're just almost like sleeping in deep relaxation in the corpse pose. So I would probably recommend, if you could, you know, don't be a hardcore yoga Nazi like me and try to look cool in the half lotus position and then come out of samadhi 5 days later and you can't walk for a couple days, you know, can't even stand up. You're like dragging yourself to the bathroom or whatever. So yeah, I would suggest, if you make a conscious effort to go into samadhi, the corpse pose Shavasana would probably be the ideal situation, I would say. If I had to do it again, I would do it in Shavasana.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that the only problem with that is sometimes you get too comfortable, because I've done the yoga nidra before, and they say, you know, just don't fall asleep, and I'll hear people snoring, you know. So when you're in such a comfortable position, it's easy to just fall asleep instead of go into samadhi. So I think that's why the sitting up position is, you know, it can be kind of comfortable, but you still have to like maintain your awakefulness, basically. So anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, it's true. Like when you go to these initiations, there's always people sleeping in the corpse pose, Shavasana, or Yoga Nidra, but that's the goal, to be in such a deep state of relaxation that you go to sleep. So I think it's okay if you go to sleep, you know, like
But you can't
that.
gain samadhi from sleep, right?
If you make a conscious effort, like how could I say, when I go to sleep, I try to, how would I put this? Right before I transition into sleep, I try to catch that samadhi, right? Like I try to and transition in samadhi. So it's almost like the Karate Kid trying to catch a fly in chopsticks, right? You're like, you know, and so you have like half a second to catch it. So, I mean, the goal is to be in such a relaxed state that you transition into samadhi. So I would say in Shavasana, the corpse pose, it's a more ideal situation for the comfort and for the relaxation part of it. I would say, right? Because and like samadhi, it doesn't really. I mean, you can induce it, but it's more of like going to sleep, right? Like it's almost like a sleepless sleep state, kind of like you said, Paul, like yoga nidra. Like you're aware. How would they put this? You're aware of what is being aware. So that's kind of how they say it. Like you're aware, but you're not aware. You know, so you're in that kind of state of just kind of being. So I would say if you go to sleep, I mean, samadhi is kind of a sleep, you know. Let I mean, I would say it's like a undreaming kind of state of sleeping. So if you, I mean, the ideal would be, like I said, my ideal is to try to transition into samadhi every night when I go to sleep, and that's when you have like what they call turiya, which is a heightened state of awareness. So yeah, I would say it's okay to go to sleep and into samadhi. I mean, that would be the ideal situation in comfort and relaxation, just transitioning into samadhi. So
Okay.
All right, question for you, Rita.
yeah, go ahead.
This one's kind of both in itself. Like, I know that some people can sense the paranormal a little bit more than others, or maybe it's a lot to do with like you're at the right place at the right time for paranormal things to happen, such as any kind of ghost hauntings. So being in Thailand, I'm sure that there's a lot of like paranormal, maybe there is, maybe there isn't. What's your experience with being in Thailand and having that kind of like paranormal experience, if any?
Yeah, so in Thailand, they're mostly Buddhist, so they believe in ghosts a lot, right? Like that's their thing. So when you have a house in Thailand, they have what's called a spirit house, which is basically the ghosts of the land in the house live in that spirit house, right? So they believe in ghosts a lot. As far as me and the paranormal, I can sense presence, but I don't try to make sense of it or attach to it, right? Like mostly positive paranormal people visit me on occasion, but I don't even get attached to that. Like I'm kind of like I was telling Paul earlier, like, oh, look, a fairy. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna go to sleep now. So I don't really try to make sense of it or who is it. I'm like, oh, look at that, you know? Like different so-called paranormal beings have visited me on a different kind of plane, but I don't really I can say I don't really get attached to it. I just kind of observe it for what it is and enjoy it for what it is. But I would say mostly positive, like higher energy, like beings come visit me, and the lower frequency beings kind of stay away from me. That's what I would say. Like my guru would say, if God comes to you in the cold and rain, let him in your house for tea. If your ego comes to you in the cold and rain, leave him out in the cold and rain. So they the lower frequency beings tend to stay away from me because I'm not in a fearful state, so I can't relate. You know, it's like a dog relating to a cat. You know, something like that. But the higher Veronica asked me one time, are you lonely on the path of Kriya Yoga? And I said, how can I be lonely in here? All these enlightened beings, I don't know how they fit in this room. You know, it's great. I can barely breathe in here. There's so many guys in here. So that's kind of how I look at it. So is the paranormal presence is always around, but in my case, it's more of a positive paranormal. And I mean, to be honest with you, in yoga, we kind of live in equanimity. So what is positive and negative paranormal experiences? That's probably a bad way to put it. They're all good. Let's say it like that. I don't see good or bad, really. You know, even the lower frequency beings, I still would have tea with them. You know, like
I think the way that it was described to me by my mentor was, instead of looking at things as bad and whatever, look at it more like a battery terminal where you have some some molecules that are more electrically charged, some are positively charged. Water, you know, it's not good or bad. This piece of dirt is not good or bad. It's just charged differently.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I agree with you, right? Like there is no good or bad. It's just different charges, positive or negative or whatever. Yeah, it's different. It's different ways of charge. So, I mean, if you look at things bad or good, you're putting yourself in a judgment kind of state, right? Like, who am I to judge if you're good or bad? You know, you're just differently charged. I like how you put it. You have different polarities, right? Like, it doesn't make you good or bad. You know, like my guru would say. I asked him one time when we went to the Himalayan mountains, I would be like, I said, we're in a thin tent. And if the abominable snowman, the Himalayan Yeti, attacks us, what do we do? And he was like, looked at me kind of strange. He said, if the Himalayan Yeti, the abominable snowman, comes and he's carrying God power, he is good. We don't care what form he has. We don't care how ugly he is or how hairy he is. If he's carrying positive charged energy, then we welcome him in for tea. And that kind of changed my perspective. Like, it doesn't matter the form. It matters more that the energy that they carry and the intention that they carry. So if they mean us no harm, we mean them no harm. In yoga, they call it ahimsa, which is nonviolence, right? Like, I don't attract negative energies because I don't emit negative energies. So, you know, so like, I more attract a positive presence, let's say it like that. But I don't have anything against the other, you know, the negative charged presence, you know. I respect them for what they are, and you know, if you mean me no harm, I mean you no harm. You know, like I don't got anything against any deity, whatever, wherever they come from. They don't hurt me, and I don't hurt them. So we have a mutual understanding, you know. So
Speaking of the good and evil thing that we were kind of talking about, now say these arrests happen, and so you find out these certain actors or whatever were involved in this satanic club and they did sacrifice kids, and they tell us all this stuff. So like, how do we forgive those people, you know? Especially if they were an idol of yours at one time, like Will Smith or somebody, you know? And also in the case of evil, though, you know, since we're higher vibration, like we don't really encounter it, but like, what if we encounter something like that, like some guy, you know, raping a kid or whatever, you know? I mean, obviously we have to do something to prevent it or whatnot.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you're in a situation, do everything you can to stop the atrocity, like how could I say, I said before, all money is not good money. So even if you showed up with a Brinks truck of millions of dollars to hurt a child, I wouldn't do it because I don't vibrate on that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like your money's no good over here. Like I have to look at myself in the mirror tomorrow. So like let's say it like that. So I mean, why would you idolize Will Smith anyway, right? You know what I'm saying? He makes good
Well,
movies, but
yeah,
movies are telling lies anyway. They're good pretenders. So if they pretend in real life, what's the difference, They pretend on the big screen and they pretend in their real life, right?
true,
So,
true.
like if you told me I could be the next Batman, but I had to hurt a child, I wouldn't want to be the next Batman. Like, who wants to be Batman if you got to sell your soul, So, I mean, something like that. So, I mean, I don't know if to me, if these things like, say you're right, Paul, and it comes out on Easter that all these people did bad things. I mean, in my case, I'd be like, they finally caught the liars telling their lies. Well, what can you do?
Can we forgive them though? That's the hard part. Like it would be especially hard if like your child was one of the ones that got injured. And I think forgiveness
Yeah.
is something super important,
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
that is a difficult bridge to climb because if it affects you in the present moment, then I don't know how I'd react to that. If somebody hurt my 15-year-old child,
Yeah,
then I'm in a situation that I don't want to be in. So hopefully I avoid that, but I don't know if I could. That's different. It affects your direct family, then that is hurtful. But I don't even like it if it affects somebody else's family.
right.
Like even a child I don't know, I don't like it. It's almost like trash to me. Like gross. Like why? Like I don't know. Like that's a difficult question to ask. Would I forgive them? I don't know. I guess eventually you have to forgive everybody, but like hopefully I wouldn't be put in that situation. If I was, that would be a difficult thing to overcome,
For sure.
Let's say it like that.
Does God forgive evil?
Well, like I always say, a God defined is a God confined. So I'm not even going to pretend I know
Yeah.
what God is thinking and what God forgives. So like
He's
that
all
would
loving.
that'd be totally ignorant for me. Like I have no clue what the source of God is doing right now. So I don't want to speak for God, God, please forgive me. I will not speak for the almighty source of everything. But I mean, I can't even say like, like just save yourself a lot of headache and don't do bad things or hurt innocent children or innocent souls. Like try to be the best person and loving and happy person as you can, and avoid all these pitfalls and mistakes, out here, what's the point? Like don't hurt anybody, try to be the best person you could be. That's what I would say. But yeah, these are deep questions to contemplate. So I try to make a habit of not thinking for God. That'd be totally ignorant on my part.
I could offer like a different perspective, because I was taking a class in Aikido. And so obviously you're fighting, and people think, oh, well, if you're fighting, you're learning that you're doing this for self-defense to hurt people, you know. But it's like, well, no, you're not. You're learning to protect yourself. But sometimes you're going to need to hurt someone to get them to stop doing what they're doing. And so the way we would look at it is, there's a certain maneuver where you can stop someone and throw them on the ground so hard that you can kill them. But even when you do that, everything that you do it with the mindset of love. So it's like, why would you do that? And when you contemplate it, it's like, okay, you're doing that because you're trying to stop the person from not only hurting others, but you're trying to do it so they don't hurt themselves. How do they hurt themselves? Because they're hurting others, and someone else who's out to hurt others will hurt them. So it's like, by showing them that they're not as well, by putting them in their place, I suppose is the best way I can phrase it. You're like, hey, stop. And if they don't stop, then the best thing that you could do for, like, let's say a murderer or someone that's going to continue murdering or whatever they're doing, the most loving thing that you could do is just restart their cycle. And that's like the most extreme kind of way to look at it, you know. But it's like, hey, if this journey that they're on so far in life and they've completely messed it up and that's where they're at in their path, the most loving thing you can do is say, okay, I'm going to restart it for you out of love for your spirit. Because it's like, when I forgive someone, I forgive who they are, the God inside of them, the little spark of divinity, not the ego that happens to be attached to them, or any other worldly physical things that have affected them, but I forgive them, you know. So
Yeah, I would.
That was well put.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. And I was thinking, like, when I was thinking of the question you asked about God, that He would give you every chance to, to reform. But if you're unreformable, you'll be reabsorbed back in. So that's kind of what I was thinking. You know, God, how God works and everything, and that, and also that they're. Evil does have some sort of purpose, an evolutionary purpose to, like, force us, because, when bad stuff happens to us, that's generally when we start praying and saying, God,
we have our awakening.
But, so yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, but I like what you said, Donnie. That's the best way. I'm forgiving your inner divinity. I'm not forgiving the evil deeds you did. So I'm forgiving your inner God, your spark of God inside you as you. So hopefully you learn from these mistakes. And yeah, like you said, like, some people have gone so far down the path of badness that they need to be restarted, or you need to show them, like, don't do this to yourself, right? I'm trying to save you from yourself. This is not the right path. So hopefully they learn from their mistakes, and if not, maybe they're doomed to get on the hamster wheel of reincarnation and start again until they get it figured out, adjust and pivot and get on the right path. So yeah, this is a deep question to contemplate. But yeah, I agree with what Donnie said. It's about forgiving their inner divinity. Forgive this guy. He knows not what he does.
I feel like a lot of people also think like forgiveness is like saying, oh, what you did is okay. I'm like, no, forgiveness is saying, like, it's coming from you, and it's not like you can really, it's weird to say. Like, when someone says, oh, will you forgive me? I'm like, the forgiveness is not for them. It's for the other person, you know?
True.
And it's like, so that way you don't hold on to the poison of hate and all that negative emotion for that person for what they did. So I can forgive them and not hold on to that and say, okay, almost in the same way, like you're saying namaste, like, like I see you the way that who you are for what you are.
True.
But I'm not going to sit here and poison that image in my mind for what you did. I think that was an image in my mind. And then pretty much I'm not gonna just let that fester inside of me, because the only person's hurting is me by not forgiving the person. I'll never forget it, like it's still a memory, but I can still say, okay, I see what you did, and you're not gonna do that again. But I can still forgive them.
Yeah, that's well put. I heard a quote. It said, "Anger is the poison that poisons the vessel that holds it." So, like Donnie just said, like it's you're forgiving to let yourself go of it, to help you, not for you to hold on to it. Because if you hold on to these lower emotions, it's only going to poison you. It's not going to poison somebody else. So the forgiveness is more for you to let it go than more to let them off the hook, or however you would say.
Yeah, I had to use that principle of forgiveness recently, because when I told the story when the doctor scratched my eye when he was giving me the injection, then he made a comment, and then I was in the Philippines for a month, and my vision was not good, and I was getting mad. I was thinking about it, and it was festering in me. I was getting really mad, and I was getting ready to send call them up and say, I'm gonna want to know when I get back there why my eye got scratched, what happened, and other stuff, and then I realized, that was totally not the way I wanted to go. It would have ruined I would have had to change doctors, because I would have been so stressed when I went over there every time, knowing that I had caused all this inner turmoil among those people. And so, it was good. And I did just forgive that doctor. And I was just there today, and it was even though they were an hour late, I still had a kind of good time there. I just enjoy just listening to all the people and what's going on around me, and it breaks up my routine, so besides getting stuck in the eye, I enjoy going there in a sense.
I like that. You said you're like, I had a good time, as in it's your responsibility to have a good time, not anyone else's.
Yeah.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, and there was this guy in a wheelchair, a black guy, and his daughter, and they were cutting up, they were laughing their butts off, and it just made me smile just to sit there and watch them. And even this guy's in a wheelchair, he can barely move. He couldn't even really use his hands, and he's still in a positive attitude. So that kind of lifted my spirit, seeing that.
I work at a warehouse, so I have 12 hours of just riding a forklift doing nothing. So that's why I'm trying to learn all these things in the beginner intermediate course, because I'm I got 12 hours to practice my my job, as and it's helpful, because when I get home, I can go, oh yeah, I've memorized that quote, for 100%. But the nice thing about it is that I was sitting there contemplating. I'm if I had absolutely nothing, what do I have? And the one thing I have is myself, So it's some people will be oh, I'm stuck in a warehouse, or it's really hot, or whatever it is. But I'm the one gift of myself from myself is gratitude. So it's if I had absolutely nothing, I could be grateful for gratitude, which is a gift that my divine self gave me, to say, here, you want to feel good about something? Here's an emotion called gratitude that you can have, that you can just have it even if you have nothing, but you have that. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, that's well put, Donnie. Yeah, I agree with you. Like Paul asked me one time, like, what did you do in the Himalayan mountains? I was like, man, we had a full schedule. The sun comes up, we get to work, like you for most people it would seem like hell being in a warehouse all by yourself. But when you have these tools and techniques, it's almost like there isn't enough time at the warehouse,
No.
like same in the Himalayan mountains. Like, man, I didn't have enough time. I needed some more daylight. I'm gonna go for a swim. I'm gonna do some asanas. I'm gonna do my pranayama and do my meditation. This and that. So before you know it, the sun's going down and the day's over. And so yeah, when you have the right mind perspective and you look at this as an opportunity, like it really opens up the door. Like I said before in our class, like always look for the opportunity to do your mantra japa or do these practices. Like anytime, like, I don't know, like let's say I went to get my driver's license and I was at the DMV. I would just, oh, it's going to take 2 hours. Where's my mala? Okay, I'm going to do my mantra japa now. So you're looking for the opportunities to do these things. And when COVID happened, I was like, what am I going to do? I can't go to work. And then I thought about it. I called my guru and he was like, he said something short and simple. He said, if you can't go outside, go inside. And I took that advice and I just started doing as much yoga practice as I can. So that's the way I looked at it. Like, yeah, always look for the opportunity. Something that might seem boring to normal people is a great opportunity for you to uplift yourself and be the best person you could be.
I have a question for you, Vedagurudev. Somebody named Jagrito Patel asks, how does Babaji choose someone for the spiritual path? Please answer.
How does Babaji choose someone for the spiritual path? Well, Veronica told me one time, she said, Kriya Yoga chose me. I didn't choose it. So I don't know if I could talk for Babaji. Like, I'm not sure how he chooses somebody for the spiritual path. But I would just say, if Babaji could choose me, he could choose anybody, because I was totally gone off the path. I was the worst yogi that ever existed in the history of the world. I was totally consumed by my ego. I treated my body like an amusement park. Everything that could be done wrong, I did wrong. And Babaji chose me for the spiritual path. So if he could he choose me, he definitely could choose you. So I would just say, be the best person you can be, dedicate and surrender yourself to your sadhana. And if it's meant to be, it'll be meant to be. And I would definitely say that's how Babaji chooses someone for the spiritual path. But I never really wanted to be on the spiritual path. It just kind of happened. So when it happened like that, here I am. So
I would
I don't
say,
think. Yeah,
I
go
would
ahead.
say, just if you found a school, that means you've been chosen. I think everybody that's found this school's already been chosen by
Yeah.
Babaji.
Yeah, I would say I get many emails. Babaji told me to come to the Kriya Yoga School. So, yeah, if you feel Babaji has chosen you for the spiritual path, let's get to work. Join the Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. Maybe put up the website, Veronica.
Yes.
And yeah, let's get to work. Because there are many like-minded people in our Kriya Yoga School. So if you want to start practicing Kriya Yoga School, go to our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. We have over 200 classes in there. We have all kinds of like-minded people who Babaji have chosen also to put a battery in their back. So come join us, and we'll get to work. Or if you want to go on a call with me, I think there's another banner to get on a call with me. The website is Kriya Yoga Masterclass. Go if you need help, book a call with me, and I'll get on a call with you, and let's solve your problems, and let's get to work. But I would say the fastest path is to join the Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. We have all kinds of techniques for all different people in there, numerous techniques, and I will personally coach you how to get on the path of Kriya Yoga. And if Babaji chose you for the spiritual path, let's get to work today. Because I would say what Paul said is true. All the people in here, Babaji have chosen them on the spiritual path too. So we have a bunch of like-minded people, and we have a Kriya Yoga community and family where we uplift each other. So let's get to work.
Yeah, and I was doing the math. $250 a year is like $20 and some change. That's cheaper than most of us are paying for Kriya Yoga. That's nothing. $20.
Yeah,
So
so if,
I was
Go
gonna say, like for me, I'm like, oh, okay, so if I do without 1 or 2 meals a day, it's like, all right, well, I guess I should be fasting anyways, you know.
Like, it's for your spiritual growth.
Yeah, it's a very small thing.
Yeah, so all the people you see on here are in the Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, and we have an annual deal right now. Like Veronica was saying, it's $250 for the whole year. So you'll get a whole year of training, and if you pay the monthly, it's $50 right now. So it makes more sense financially to get the annual plan because you get 7 months free.
Yeah.
I think that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
Yeah, it's only $20 a month if you do $250 a year. Well, 20 and some change, but yeah.
Yeah, we're constantly updating the site, and we're constantly making it better for all our Kriya Yoga School members. But yeah, you would have access to me 24 hours a day, and our members can vouch that I try to answer all the questions I can wholeheartedly as best as I can. And if you want, just book a call with me. Go to Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. Click on the book a call link. There's a calendar. Pick which time is best for you, and I'll get on a call with you, and we'll try to solve your problems.
Yeah, and then the free yoga school, if it has a lot of valuable things in that school too. So if you're not ready,
if you want to do it by yourself, go to the free Kriya Yoga School. There's some beginner classes there, and give you some framework before you go to the main Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, so you have an idea how Kriya Yoga works.
Jagarito, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Patel, thank you so much. I am on the path of learning Kriya Yoga. One more question. Some people say I have a darshan of Babaji. Does he look the same way Yogananda is portrayed in his image? What is he asking?
So if you have a darshan from Babaji, which I've had also, that's a beautiful blessing. Now, how Babaji looks, that is the $1 million question. I could say in my case, he looked like a big, bright, glowing sun. So I have no idea what the facial features or how he actually looks in the physical form. So it was more like a intuition that Babaji came to me. So I would say Babaji will come to you in the form that you resonate with the most. So if you don't resonate with Yogananda's form, then he probably won't come in Yogananda's form. If you resonate with Sri M's form, then he'll probably come in Sri M's form. Or if you resonate with the formless form, which I saw, then he'll probably come in the formless form. It just depends what you feel the most comfortable with, and Babaji will come in that darshan form, right? So there's no one size fits all. Babaji comes in the form that you probably most resonate with. So in yoga, they say they have mantras. It's nirguna and saguna. One is form, and one is formless. So it just depends which one you resonate with the most. If you're in my case, I resonate more with the oneness, the formless form. That's the form he came in a darshan. But if you resonate with the physical form, you like the way he looks in autobiography of a yogi, then he'll probably come in that form. So I would say there's not a one size fits all. Babaji travels in all forms, in all shapes and sizes.
That's a good way to put that. Even like across the occult, like when other spirits and so on and so forth, the same thing is said, where it's like you never know how the entity that you're calling upon is going to come, but it will come when you ask it to, type of thing. And then the other best way to do it is don't think too much if you're trying to contact it. Don't have any expectations of what it will look like. Just let it,
Right. That's what my guru said when I went up the Himalayan mountains. He's like, what's the best advice? He's like, no expectations. Because if you have expectations, you can't be disappointed, right? So it comes in its own time, and it comes in its own form, you got to understand that these higher enlightened beings, they're in a space of timelessness. So they're not on your time, right? They come when they come. So my guru always used to say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. So they'll come when they're ready. If you invoke them, they'll come when they're ready. Sometimes I've had cases in my case where even deities I don't invoke come, and I was like, hello, welcome. You want some tea? I didn't invoke you, but I'm glad you're here. Let's talk. What's the message? I'm glad you're here. So if you elevate yourself to a higher frequency, it's more acceptable for these deities to come visit you. So in yoga, we're always trying to bring our energy to the crown. And they say the crown is like the gateway to where you can have a meeting with a higher deity, right? So we're always trying to bring our energy up and clean our house. So if any of these deities come, we're ready for their presence, and we have tea and snacks ready for when Babaji comes to visit. But in my case, I try to tell Babaji not to come. It sounds weird to a lot of people, but I'm like, Babaji, you're busy. You got way more important people to help than me, right? Like, I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm good. Like, I'm doing my sadhana. Everything is great. You've already done too much for me, Babaji. No need to show yourself to me. Go help. Other people need way more help. Other people need to see your form way more than me. I don't need to see. I'm good. If I want to see Babaji, I just look back and he's right there.
Yeah, he's just chilling.
So he doesn't need Babaji. It doesn't work for me. He's on his own time. So, you're doing a great job. My puja and my daily ritual, like my daily devotion or bhakti to Babaji, is thanking all the deities for the job they're doing. They're doing the best job of all, right? I woke up. The sun is up. I have a big smile on my face. You're doing a great job. The source, whatever name you call God, he's doing the greatest job of all, right? No need to come. Keep up the good work. You're doing the best job out of anybody.
Did any of the entities have anything to say to you besides the monkey? Because I remember he said, "Let go and let God."
Yeah, that's a funny one, monkey, right? Yeah, the monkey didn't
Right.
even say anything. He said it telepathically, let's say it, right? I got the message, right? But yeah, short and sweet, let go and let God, you know, pointed at the sky. I got the message. I don't even know where that monkey went, you know, he was just there and he was gone, but I got the message. I mean, yeah, they do, but the overall message that, can I say, I've gotten darshan and intuition or messages from all sorts of different deities. Like I told you the Archangel Michael story, right?
Yeah.
I didn't invoke him. I never called Archangel Michael. You know, but they're mostly, their message is keep up the good work, or everything's going to be okay. That's a better way to say it. They say everything's going to be okay. You're doing good work. Keep going. You're how can I say? We're proud of the work you're doing on the path. You're helping people. You're doing a good job. So just keep up the good work. I mean, these deities aren't long conversations. It's more short and to the sweet, to the point, right? Like the monkey, let go and let God. Goodbye. You know what I'm saying? So then they're not long. They're not long conversations. It's short and to the point where you get the message, and it's more. How can I say? Telepathic. You get the message inside you as you, then more talk. You know, it's more a higher vibration communication than a word communication. Because even to these higher level deities, words are kind of crude for the real meaning of what they say. Like their words are so beautiful and melodic and like a symphony. To even put crude English words to what they have, the message they convey to you, is kind of almost, in my opinion, ugly. They wouldn't say it like that, but their language is so beautiful and heavenly, or on a high level. It's almost like beautiful music to your ears that it's hard to translate into the physical realm, let's say.
And I have a couple questions from Patel. He says, Babaji is in the form of energy around us. Does he listen when I call him? Does he feel the tears whenever I cried? How can I find the purpose of my life?
So I would say Babaji definitely hears what you have to say. So when you call Babaji or ask for help, he's always there, let's say. So what's this guy's name? Jagat Patel.
Yeah.
I'll give you something right now. Where is it? This in our class is Babaji's phone number, right? So say it with reverence. Call Babaji's direct phone number and tell him whatever you want. And I'll say it 3 times for you. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. Om Kriya Babaji Namo. So this is Babaji's Mula mantra. I would definitely say that. Call Babaji as much as you can. If you have a mala, can you say each mala bead, each raksha beads for each mantra, and call Babaji. In our school, we say this mantra every Saturday in our class. So if you want to call, I like when they say in yoga, if 2 or more people call my name, I am there. So we have 36 members in our class. So you have way more than 2 people to call Babaji. So if you want to call Babaji collectively in our school, kriyayogamasterclass.com. We'll call Babaji. We'll invoke Babaji's presence. We also have a mantra in there. It's called Babaji Invocation Mantra, which invokes Babaji's divine presence. So I can vows that I feel Babaji likes that one. And I definitely feel Babaji's presence when I say that one. That one's a little longer, but they all work great.
He also wants to know, how can I differentiate the war among my mind, heart, and intuition?
The war against your mind, heart, and intuition. Well, like I said before, we have a technique called Sudi, which is basically cleansing and purifying your thoughts. So you begin to realize that when you say I or me or myself, that's more of an ego play, right? You begin to detach that. In yoga, they say neti neti, which means not this, not this. So you begin to realize, like, I am not this body, I am not this mind. So the war you're having inside your mind happened to me when I first got on the path of Kriya Yoga. Your ego doesn't want you to get on the spiritual path because it will dissolve it and you won't attach to it the same way. So the war that's happened inside you as you is basically you kind of shedding these clothes that no longer serve you. So you begin to realize the war no longer serves you in the present moment. So you begin to overcome the internal war you're having between your mind, heart, and your intuition. So your intuition is more of your soul voice, your higher inner self talking to yourself. Your mind in the beginning is like a monkey mind. It's like a monkey jumping from tree to tree. So you have to master your monkey mind and get your monkey mind under control. And that's basically this technique of Sudi, which is detach, let go. Like whatever thought comes into your mind, detach, let go. This doesn't serve me in the present moment. Detach, let go, detach, let go, detach, let go. And then when you have a clearer mind, then you're more open to what your heart chakra says and what your intuition says, because you're basically clearing out all the boxes that are blocking your intuition right now. Like you have to cleanse your monkey mind and purify your monkey mind before you can really center yourself and align yourself with your intuition and your higher self. So my suggestion would be to join the Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, and I'll personally help you through your journey, because I definitely don't want to see you cry, or definitely don't want to see you go through depression or any of that stuff. And I will help you overcome everything. We'll walk this path of Kriya Yoga together. So the website is Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. If you want to get on a call with me, book a call with me right there, Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. I'll get on a call with you and let's solve all your problems. And let's leave all your sadness and depression behind in the dust, if you know what I'm saying. And let's move forward and with the path of Kriya Yoga. And right here on our screen, we have 3 people that are in our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, and we leave no yogi or yogini behind. And we uplift, how do you say, rising tides lift all boats. So we lift everybody. We don't leave any yogi or yogini behind. So join our Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, and I'll personally walk you through the techniques and help you overcome whatever you're going through.
I would say also stop watching TV, because there's a lot of grim stuff there, and a lot of that programming and stuff gets into our minds through the TV. And also that our purpose and mission is just to be the best people that we can be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How would they say this in yoga? They have a technique, it's called brahmacharya, which basically means celibacy of your senses. So my guru used to say, Vedagurudev, you're a master of distraction. I was like, Baba, how do you mean? He was like, your whole life, you become a master of distractions. You attach to this, you attach to that. When we start practicing Kriya Yoga, we start detaching from that and going back to zero. Like, we see what serves us in the present moment, and whatever doesn't serve us in the present moment, we let it go and detach from it because it no longer serves us. So in Kriya Yoga is basically shedding all your baggage, all your rocks you think you need to carry, but they no longer serve you. And you start traveling light on the divine flight, So start this sadness, this depression no longer serves you in the present moment. So let's get to work and let's dissolve it as much as we can and be as happy, as blissful and blissed out yogis as we can.
He had another question. He wants to know, does our past karma get dissolved by practicing Kriya? And if I choose the path of Kriya, does the whole lineage of sacred gurus, are they ready to purify our mind and dissolve our karma?
Well, so I answer the first question. Yeah, so our karma gets dissolved by practicing Kriya Yoga. So our past karma, so they have 3 karmas in yoga. Let me see if I remember this. Agama karma, Sanchita karma, Pradrahar karma. So let me see if I got this right. Agama karma is past life karma. Sanchita karma is future karma, and Pradrahar karma is present day karma. So by doing the sadhana in Kriya Yoga, you're dissolving your past life karma. If you don't create no karma in the present day, you don't have nothing to dissolve. And if you dissolve all your karma, there is no future karma because you've dissolved it all. So basically, what I was telling Veronica before, we don't really think about the karma because it's a byproduct that automatically happens when we do our inner sadhana. So every day by doing our sadhana, we're dissolving our karma. So we have the techniques that dissolve our karma and we don't really attach to it. Like I was telling Veronica, I got enough work in this lifetime dissolving all of my trash mountain of karma from all my past reincarnations. So I'm not trying to create more because I don't want to stack more junk on top of my trash mountain. And I definitely don't want to make any future karma. So the good part about it is you're aware of your karma. 90% of people aren't even aware of their karma. Just by being aware, you're pretty much all the way home. So now that you're aware of karma and the concept of karma, and all you need is the tools and techniques to help you overcome it and dissolve it and not get attached to your karma. So like I said, join the Kriya Yoga School. We have over 200 classes in there that'll help you overcome your karma. And I'll personally make sure you dissolve your karma. Because like I said, I don't want to take your money just for no reason. I want you to get the results and solve all your problems. So I'll definitely put you on the path to burning your karma. And this goes for all of our members. Reach out to me anytime, any question. I want to make sure you get the results, So everybody reach out to me. Now, the second part of his question, what was, put it up there again?
Let me go back. I'm sorry.
No problem.
If I choose the path of Kriya, does the whole lineage of sacred gurus, are they ready to purify our mind and dissolve our karma?
Well, yeah, I would say our lineage, our parampara, which I was talking about before, they don't really, they're mostly there as like guides and like pointers of what you can achieve if you practice the sadhana. Dissolving your own karma is a personal, individualized thing that you would have to do inside you as you. So you have a lot of cheerleaders in our Kriya Yoga school and our Kriya Yoga school family, and our lineage would definitely be hoping that you carry the torch and make sure that you overcome your karma. So, but I would say it's more of an inner journey, and in the Kriya Yoga school, we give you the tools and techniques to help you overcome this. And I'll make sure, as on par with our parampara lineage, that no yogi gets left behind. So I would definitely help walk this Kriya Yoga journey with you, holding hands together. So we make sure you dissolve your karma if that is your wish. And every week on our class and our satsang, I'm an open book, so you can ask me whatever questions. Don't be shy. Feel free to ask me whatever you want, like all of our members on the screen.
I was going to say, you can't wave your magic wand and wipe out our karma for us.
Oh, I wish it was that simple.
Yeah.
You know? I would do it for myself first. Karma be gone. You know? It takes a little bit of work, but it's a blissful practice to do. So, you know, like I said, anybody who's watching this on YouTube, book a call with me, and I'll be glad to get on a call with you, and let's solve your problems. They don't serve you anymore in the present moment. Let's overcome them, and let's be the best Kriya yogis I can. So book a call, kriyayogamasterclass.com. There it is on the screen. Yeah, go ahead, Donnie.
Oh, so what's funny is when you said that, like, religious dogmas for the lazy people, and then you have the idea that you have Jesus Christ coming down, he dies for their sins, all their karma's gone, everything's forgiven, and then it's done, just like that.
Yeah, well, everybody wants the microwave lightning path, but the realization is no one's coming to save you. You have to save yourself, right? So if you're waiting for that day when someone comes and saves you, you might be waiting for a long time. So just save yourself. Put your kriyas, your tools in your toolbox. Put them in your pocket. Look for the opportunity to save yourself. Like, don't wait for the dogma. Like, Jesus is coming tomorrow and I'm going to be saved. Save yourself. And to be honest with you, if you're doing the inner work, and let's say hypothetically that it does happen, Jesus does come, he'll be ready to accept you. Like, this guy has been taking action. Like I said before, Kriya means action. We're action yogis. We don't talk about Kriya yoga. We do the actual Kriyas, right? So if Jesus happens to come, he'd be like, this guy is doing the inner work. I'm definitely going to take him. Or this guy is eating donuts all day, just hoping I'm going to save him. I'm not taking this guy. He's not ready. You know? So do the inner work. Be the best person you can. If in the event that happens, like let's say Jesus comes to me tomorrow, say, my child, it's time to go home. I say, I'm ready. I got the tools. I got I got everything I need. Veronica asked me in a question, do you think these enlightened beings are practicing Kriya Yoga? And I said, yeah, Yukteswara said in Autobiography of a Yogi that his Kriya Yoga practice served him very well on the higher planes. So you already have the techniques and everything you need to go to the higher planes. So just be ready so you don't have to get ready. So if Jesus does come, don't have a donut in your mouth. Have your spiritual sadhana ready to go. Said, I've been waiting for you.
I have another interesting question for you, Vedagurudev. I want to be materialistic. I want to enjoy a luxurious life with all the fancy amenities. and I also want to be spiritual, and I want to enjoy solitude at the same time. Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible. Like day one of Kriya Yoga, when I got initiated in the Kriya Yoga, here's what they said. You are not your car. You are not your bank account. You are not your house. You are not any of these things. Once you come to this realization, the materialism doesn't have that same draw, you know, because you're not attached to it. It doesn't define your soul. So it's okay to live a luxurious life, live in happiness, but it doesn't know that it doesn't define your soul, how many zeros you have in your bank account. When you transcend to the astral plane, none of this is going to matter. So enjoy it while you can. As long as you don't have to hurt anybody or cheat anybody or lie to anybody to get these things, by all means, live your best life. Be happy, you know? Have fancy amenities, but if what they say, more money, more problems, right? So if you have more monies and it gives you more problems, then it's not serving you in the present moment. If these things make you happy and uplift you, then it's okay. But know this, happiness is internal, not external. So if you're looking for happiness in materialistic things, it's only a Band-Aid. It's only a temporary happiness. It's only holding water in your hand for a few moments, right? And it's only a temporary, fleeting kind of happiness. So if you're happy and you know who you are and what brings you happiness, and you find your happiness inside you as you, then it's okay. But if you think external things bring you temporary happiness, then find your inner happiness. It's worth more than external happiness, right?
I'm not sure what he's saying. He's saying my apology, my obstinance at your holy feet for answering my questions. What do you think he's saying?
He's basically saying, like in an Indian tradition, like I did to my guru, we touch the feet like
okay,
as blessings. So he is basically saying that he's happy that I answered his questions so heartily. But yeah, if you have so much materialism and luxuriously, then a year membership at the Kriya Yoga School is no skin off your back.
Yeah.
So $250 to live the best life and happiness inside you for 1 year is nothing. It's a day at the office.
Yeah.
It's a trip to Starbucks. So focus your materialism on things that will bring you a lifetime of happiness, not just a fleeting temporary happiness.
I had a question. Oh, yeah.
Hold on a second. I'm putting my feet down. All right. Windshield wipers. You have to go at like 4, right? How much time do we have?
We have half an hour.
Okay, yeah. So you want to do mantra japa at the end, right?
Well, I was thinking if I leave, you guys keep going. If I leave and I come back, then we can. I don't know if I'm not able to do it. That's fine.
I'm gonna be ready to leave within 30 minutes. So.
Okay, so we just wrap it up in 30 minutes. Maybe we save the last 5-10 minutes for a mantra japa before you have to leave.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking, Ramahana Maharashi. He taught self-inquiry. Who am I? And you go through all these questions. I was just wondering if you had like a meditation to help somebody go through that. Like the self-inquiry meditation, where you like, I don't know, I'm not my body, I'm not my sensations, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my memories, I'm not my intelligence, my accomplishments. I don't know.
That's a good idea. So in this week's class, we'll review, but like next week, maybe I'll cultivate a, how can I say, inner knowledge of yourself inside you, as you, because Ramayana Maharishi is one of my favorite. He's the greatest. Like he is also a Kriya yogi initiated by Yogananda himself. So Gandhi was also initiated by Yogananda also,
Yeah.
as you could see in the autobiography of a yogi. So yeah, this is a good technique to self-observe yourself. And I really like this question of who am I,
Yeah.
So yeah, in our class, not this week because we'll review, but next week we'll do it. What was the other one you wanted to see? Patanjali's yamas and the niyamas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that too. That's a good one too.
Oh, that was an idea. The Nirvana Shakti Kam, also known as Atman Shaktyam, is a Sanskrit composition by Adi Shankara, meditation to help to look within. Have you ever heard of that, Vedagurudev?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So Atma is your inner self, like your soul. So it's basically same thing. Like you ask the question, who am I? Like self-inquiry, like I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not my bank account, I am not my car, I am not none of this. So it basically helps you to question who you are inside you as you, and you begin to see most of the things you think you are not. So it helps you shed that stuff.
Can you please tell Babaji to assign someone to write a book on him, his experiences, and how he chose his devotees, and etc.?
I mean, a good book for that, which I really resonate, is The Voice of Babaji. So he has a book of that already.
Yeah, he dictated it to people, right? So
right.
right.
Yeah, V.T. Nilakandan
Yeah.
and later Yogi S.A.A. Ramaya. And also on my YouTube channel at Vedagurudev, every day I post Babaji motivational quotes and I explain it in video form. So if you want to hear what Babaji thinks daily, subscribe to my channel, Vedagurudev. Yeah. Thank you, Donnie. Yeah, it's right there. V.T. Nilakandan.
Thank you.
And if you turn to page 525, there's a cool picture that looks like me.
Yes, it looks just like you.
If you join our school and I put in the sadhana, you'll see the picture. So
I had an interesting question. So I'll look at pictures of Shiva's cosmic dance, and it made me wonder if dance is like a high form of yoga, if it's like an advanced asana dance, like music has the power to move your body, and if you're moving your body with bhakti and devotion, could that just be as powerful as using your voice to connect to source?
absolutely. Like dancing is very profound in the Hindu Sanskrit religion. All these deities are always dancing, and it's like the Lord Shiva, dancing Shiva. He's doing the dance of creation, the circle of, the five functions of Shiva: the creation, the preservation, the observation, the grace, and the destruction. So it's basically the whole circle of him dancing. And he has his foot stepping on the ego, which you see somebody under his foot, which is symbolizing his ego, and he has his foot up to enlightenment. So dancing to enlightenment, putting your foot on your ego, dissolving your ego as much as you can. So, but all these deities are dancing and celebrating. I mean, if you go to India, they're always celebrating and dancing, and it's a blissful time, you know. Happy in the glory of God, let's say it like that. So they just had earlier this year the Kumbh Mela, right? I'm sure millions of people were dancing and everything. So
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. It's a great expression of your soul.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
so
first,
music. Go ahead.
the first yoga class I took, the Russian, well, they weren't all Russians, but he was the Russian guru, and in their thing they did teach certain dances. One was a Shiva dance, actually, and that was more geared towards men, but they taught various dances in it as well. And it was, you know, very energetic, and like it's like doing an asana, you know. It would take a lot of stamina, basically. But yeah, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, dancing is a beautiful expression of your soul.
Just one quick thing. Jagrito Patel, he wants to know if we have a Telegram or a WhatsApp group and to paste the link, but we don't have that. We just have the school and on our community page.
Yeah, so if you want to go to our free Kriya Yoga school, freekriyayogamasterclass.com, there has a message in there. You could message. We post links in there every day. Then we have the Kriya Yoga School Masterclass, which is all the techniques to help you uplift you through the life. The free school is basically like a beginner's kind of framework, but if you're ready to go to work, go to Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. And if you want to book a call with me, Kriya Yoga Masterclass, I'll get on a call with you and we'll solve your problems. So this would be the best way. We don't have a Telegram or WhatsApp app group.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, but
yeah, maybe we
the
could
best
make
way
one.
to contact us is our Kriya Yoga School.
I've got a question. So like, say you're doing your sadhana, but you're not, like, you don't have much bhava, you know, and you're just kind of like mouthing the words and you don't like have a lot of heart in it. Does it still benefit you?
Yeah, it still benefits you. It aligns you and keeps you centered, you know. But why would you say it with not a lot of bhava?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
just,
you know, like some people at church. I'm not saying that's not what I do, but you know, sometimes I'm more, you know, I have more feelings, you know, sometimes I might tear up or something, but just like, you know, at church sometimes, you know, they just say they're giving lip service, basically, you know, so
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
I mean, yeah, I get it. You know, I mean, if you're in the full wheel pose, I wouldn't say the mantra like it's going to be kind of strenuous, you know, like Om Namah Shivaya. You know?
just trying to get through this.
So, I mean, I get it, but you know, like I would say in my case, like I used to not be like a good singer, right? Like when they would sing the, you know, mantra japa, I was like, don't call me. They would definitely call me, right? So I was like the kid in the back of the class, like, oh, don't call me. Oh, there they go. There, and they always call you. So, but once I started getting into it, I started enjoying it. I mean, you got to place your kind of bhava when you can, but like I would just say if you're gonna do it, just put as much bhava as you can behind it, you know, wholeheartedly. That's what I basically do. I mean, you see sometimes in the yagna I mess up and I have to start again. It's all good, you know, but I'm saying it with my heart. And that's when I went to India, they used to laugh at me when I used to say the mantra japa, because I'm an American guy. I don't have the proper Indian pronunciation, right? But one thing they couldn't take away from me was my bhava. They were like, well, he doesn't say the sound syllables in a Himalayan dialect like we do, but he's definitely got the bhava. He says it from his heart, and he doesn't care. He says it wholeheartedly, right? He you know, so we got to, that's more important. The bhava is more important than saying the mantra correctly. So just say it with your heart, no matter what you do. Like, do it wholeheartedly. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, and sometimes also, like, there's, my daughter and maybe her friends are out there, and I'm not wanting to like be very vocal, and I'll like soften it up, and like I kind of hate that, but I get a little, embarrassed or whatnot, they're thinking,
Yeah,
oh,
if people are around, just
Yeah.
say it internally. I would just say it internally, if people
Yeah.
are around. I mean, believe me, if I'm on an airplane, I'm not going, oh, Namah Shivaya, on the bus, like, they're gonna be like, call the police, get this guy off our airplane, So, yeah, you gotta choose your battles, Yeah, sometimes my daughter's friends are over, and I'm not shouting my mantra at my top of my lungs. I'll say it more internally, but when no one's around, I'll say it more externally.
So I'll be the guy on the forklift and the warehouse. Just you'll see me just going through the whole mile or two, and as I'm practicing, just the way that you say, like, all through the chakras. So you'll hear me going rum, like some maniac through the whole place. And it's like, it's a way for me to be like, oh, my ego thinks it's going to be in control of me today. I don't think so. I think that's a good way to practice in very small ways of like, I don't care about if someone hears me, because then they're going to ask me, oh, what are you doing? And then it's a way to be like, oh, this is what I'm doing. And you never know who's gonna be interested in because a lot of people have actually said, oh, I wish I had that kind of confidence, versus the other way around.
Yeah, people. I was telling Veronica, like, people think because I'm a DJ, I listen to music. I listen to total silence, and I sing these bhajans, and I sing these songs. So if you pull up to me at the light, I'm singing my heart out, and they look over at me, and I look over at them. Like, you don't know Babaji? You should know Babaji. You should look at yourself. And I keep singing. Right. It's a good way to exhaust your ego, right? Because your ego wants you to be self-conscious and, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, so these people are around. But if you could shed that and just say it with your whole heart, like Donnie said, like, rum, driving around rum.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's outstanding. It's great. So yeah, that in my case, that's been a good, profound teaching that I learned to just
be weird.
Let it all out. People think you're crazy, but they're really crazy because they should be doing their inner work too. So if you have that inner confidence, it really shines. And you, like Donnie said, you never know who's listening, because you could be in yoga. They say indirectly you're affecting the people around you. So just by vibrating the root chakra, you could be helping other people that need their root chakra vibrated, or don't even realize their root chakra needs to be vibrating. So I always think, my daughter's 15 and she's not on the path of Kriya Yoga, but she indirectly gets the benefits of the mantras and all the sadhana I do, because it radiates out and it vibrates and it reaches the people who need it, for sure, who are open to it.
Yeah, on my thought about dance being an asana, I was just thinking, like, there's videos of like music and vibrations. It makes the water, test it to water, and the water moves. And I was thinking our bodies are mostly water. So maybe like when we hear a song that we resonate to, that helps like that's moving our body too. So I was just thinking like all the ways that like music, I don't know, like it's connected to dance. I don't know. It's like how it's all connected. Like if we're listening to good music, that makes us dance too. And the water.
Yeah. It's true. Your body is mostly water. So you should sing to the water in your body and make beautiful shapes in the water in your body. And
Yeah.
that's basically what these bija mantras are doing. They're vibrating the water in your body and making beautiful shapes and, you know, yantras and this type of stuff. So I would definitely say always speak highly to the water in your body. Never speak
Yeah.
negative to the water in your
Yeah.
body.
I
Always
love
speak
the
nice
water.
to the water and
Right.
make the best shapes you can, and, you know, uplift the water and in your body for sure. 100%. I would definitely say that's true.
Yeah, I like to meditate in the bathtub,
Oh,
you know, and
yes.
I talk to the water, and I'm like, you know, I'm 80% you. I'm just thinking of the water and just like, you know, telling it to heal me,
Yeah.
you know, so who knows
Yeah,
You
what's
can't hurt.
definitely. The meditation we did in this week's class, Hamsa meditation, I like the fact that you're going underwater inside yourself, right? You're not affected by the waves on the surface, which are your thoughts. You're underwater inside yourself in a state of beingness, which is a beautiful visualization I like. So yeah, I like that visualization of going underwater inside yourself. So
Ooh.
like putting your head under the water in the bathtub and being yourself.
Mm.
I don't like the water in my ears, so I don't do that. But I also have
Yeah.
my candle there, so I see the fire also. I'm like just thinking about the elements all around me, the air I'm breathing, and then
Right.
everything else is like the earth, you know. So
Yeah.
I do contemplate that as I'm sitting there.
Yeah, you got it all. Tritak, you know,
Yeah.
focusing on the candle flame.
This was something I was just thinking about the other day, the phenomenon of forgetfulness. How could I forget who I am? Like something so important. I don't know, but then I'll forget things all the time. I don't know, maybe because I want to forget, or it's not that important, or maybe I can only handle so much information and memories. But I don't know how. I just think sometimes, how could I forget like who I am? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, or maybe I'm supposed to forget, but it seems like an
I
important
mean,
thing to remember.
this goes back to the question of the memory, right? When you get reincarnated, I think, in my opinion, I think it'd be too overwhelming for you to realize 1,000 lives, and you wouldn't make the progress that you could if you really realize your true self, right? So it's almost like a cheat code in the game if you realized who you really are, and it wouldn't aid your spiritual evolution if
Yeah,
you really realized who you are. So
I feel
the maze of life is kind of really filling out who you are. I mean, I could definitely say in my life, like, it was almost like a breath of fresh air when I got on the path of Kriya yoga. I was
yeah,
like, you know, like, if I really realized who I was in a past life, in this life, then it would hinder my spiritual leveling up or my growth.
yeah.
That's my opinion, but I can't say for sure.
I feel like
I
I'm
mean,
starting to remember like little bits and pieces. I don't know, but
true.
maybe it just needs to come to me gradually when I'm ready. But
Yeah, like I get deja vu all the time where I've been here or I've been in this situation. I know exactly what to do, or, you know, so that always happens to me. It almost happens to me like on a daily basis. Like, I've been in this situation. I know exactly what to do. What should I do? You know, so
yeah,
it comes back to you like in slow drips, let's say, like that. But the more you heighten your awareness and the more sadhana you do, the more you become aware of it. Like I was telling the question before, like, just being aware of it, you're almost all the way home. Most people are, like in yoga, they say they're sleeping with their eyes open, so they're not aware of it. So just by being aware of it, like, you just need a couple refinements, a couple fine-tunements, and you're almost good. Most people aren't aware of it. They're taking most of this for granted. Like they say, sleeping with their eyes open. So just by having the awareness of being aware, like I said, I'm aware of being aware, right? So just by that kind of awareness, you're pretty much almost all the way home. You just need a couple tools to put in your toolbox, and you're good to go. So I would definitely say just by being aware, you're more attuned to who your true nature is and your true self is.
To kind of like build on that one, like, because that was the same question that I see a lot of people kind of going through, and how it clicks in their head with, like, oh, who am I? And I hear so many people get caught, in my opinion, in this kind of ego trap where they're like, oh, like they start to realize, oh, I am God, I am the all consciousness. And then they kind of like just get stuck at that, because they think that just by thinking that they're already there, And so it's kind of like where I start to say, imagine if you were a child and you're watching a movie about yourself, 20, 30 years from now. And so instead of being 7, you're like 37 years old. So you're watching yourself maybe run the mile in like 4 minutes. You're winning an Olympic gold medal. You're, a stunt driver, and you're able to like flip a car 360 degrees and land perfectly. And you're like, oh my God, who is that? It's like, well, that's you in 30 years. You're like, no way, So you can't possibly even fathom who you are 30 years in human form, let alone in God form. And the only way that you can do that is by slowly becoming that person, where it's like, even just to learn how to drive takes people like, a couple of years. People just to learn a new language takes several years. And I think that it's like, when they understand like, oh, I'm God, that's like the bottom level of, okay, now learn everything else that becomes with that. Yeah. So I think that for some people that can almost be a trap where they get stuck at that level. And it's like, okay, we'll find out what that really means. And I think that the other question of, well, how do you know, like, how do you forget? It's the same way that when you go to sleep, you forget that you're sleeping, and you're still going along with everything in your dream. You're still like, oh, you're just kind of going through this movie. And a lot of people even today are just going through their daily life. They're going to their job, they're going to sleep, they're going to their friend's house, but they don't stop and think about all the intricate little things that are going on outside of yourself, like the million things that are going on, like all the crickets, all the living things that are within a couple feet of you, 100 feet of you, the living person that just passed you in a car, either on both ways. Like, I think being aware and conscious of as much as possible here, so that you're lucid dreaming even when you're awake, is an accomplishment of itself, to like realize, oh, I'm dreaming, and then you can go and visit different places or do what you want in your dream, rather than it being the narrative. But the same thing goes for real life. It's like, what is the narrative in your life? Are you going to control it, or are you letting your past crap control who you are and what you are, etc.? Or can you let go of that and be like, okay, today I'm going to do what I want to do, not what my life dictates?
Yeah. Well put, Donnie.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah. I don't know. A thought I have is like, does everybody need to awaken? And I don't know. I guess, what are the dangers if you're not ready to awaken? Or everybody's at a different stage, I suppose. So maybe everybody needs to awaken. It's just not their time yet. I don't know.
I mean, this is a choice that they have to make, like an individual choice to wake up and get on the spiritual path. And it's so many landmines and distractions out there that it's not set up for you to get on this path. So
Yeah.
it's probably everything set up for you not to get on this path. So there's a lot of obstacles and walls for you not to get on this path. So that's why, let's say in my case, it was a true blessing for me to get on this path, because everything was against me to get on this path, so, and they don't want you to realize that happiness is inside you as you, because they can't monetize that, if you realize you're happy, how are you going to buy a new iPhone if you know that don't make you happy, right? Like, it's only a temporary happiness. So there's all this projective programming and subconscious that doesn't want you to realize your inner self, because they're not able to monetize your inner self. But once you get on the path and you realize your inner self, then you could do your inner work, and you realize that you have the experience and the knowing what really works for you, I would say.
Yeah. Just to let you know, I need to leave in like 10 minutes.
Okay. I mean, do we have any other questions? Or
Yeah.
That's it. We have any other questions, or no? That's it.
I don't see any on YouTube. So if anybody on stage had anything they wanted to add.
Not
Paul,
really. I mean, I did talk to like an Air Force veteran, going into the UFO subject, but I always like to hit up the veterans and various people who come into my shop, ask them if they saw anything during their service. And so I asked him, well, no, first he asked me, he saw my hats and he said, "Oh, are you a veteran?" And he found out that I was a Navy guy, and he said, "Oh, I'm Air Force." And so that's when I started to try to pick his brain. And so I asked him, did he see it? Had he seen anything unusual while he was in the Air Force? And he goes, "Well, I was like 12 feet underground." And I was like, "Oh, you were a missile tech, right?" So he was a missile tech at one of those ICBM sites back in like 78. And I had just watched, but I had heard about this before, but I had just rewatched it about how this UFO was like 40 feet long, and it was like glowing bright orange, came over this Maelstrom Air Force Base, and it disabled all the nuclear missiles. They freaked out. They're like, "All our missiles are down,"
Yeah.
And so that's a story that like you could find easily on YouTube. And by credible people, this guy, his credentials about being like he was in charge of this base, Captain Solace or something. But so then I said, "Oh, he's a missile tech," and so I told him that story. I said, "That's weird, because I just saw a story about UFOs, because I'm trying to like get him into the UFO subject, so maybe he'll reveal something to me." And he's like, and I was like, "Oh, I told him that story. It was at Maelstrom Air Force Base." And he was like, "That's where I worked." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna get something," But then it wasn't the right year. Like that happened in like late 60s, and he was like in the 70s, so he didn't see anything. But it was just cool that he worked in one of those missile silos, and just the craziness of it.
Yeah.
Whereabouts do you live?
Huh?
Where do you live?
I live in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay, I got something for you then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you later after the thing.
Cool. Like message me on the chat.
No, we can just talk about it after the live ends, or after this part ends. We go into the private.
Okay.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just wrap it up. All right. Well, we do these live weekly satsangs every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you could see, we go almost 4 hours every week. So we'd love for you to join us on YouTube. If you have any problems that you need help with, book a call with me, Kriya Yoga Masterclass. click on the link. You'll see a calendar. Click the best date and time for you, and I'll jump on a call with you and solve your problems in real time. And if you're ready to get started on the path of Kriya Yoga, make sure you go to Kriya Yoga School Masterclass. The website's right there. We have an offer right now, $50 a month or $250 a year. So you could choose which one works best for you. The best deal is $250 a year, but you can go to the monthly and ascend to the yearly plan, up to you, however you want to go. But whatever you do, let's get the most help you can, and let's walk this Kriya Yoga journey together. If you don't have any money and you want to learn about Kriya Yoga, we also have a free Kriya Yoga school, freekriyayogamasterclass.com. The website's right there. Give you some beginner techniques to give you a framework. Then when you're ready to upgrade to the real techniques on the paid school, I give live daily coaching. So whatever you need, feel free to reach out to me and let's get to work. So the website is kriyayogamasterclass.com. If you need help, book a call with me and let's get to work. So thank you for joining us for our Satsang today. Thank you, Veronica, Paul, and Donnie. Appreciate your insights. Very great. Very helpful. So with that said, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Kriya Babaji Namah. Kriya Babaji Namah. Kriya Babaji Namah. Kriya Babaji Namah. Kriya Babaji